Hello and welcome to Thinking People podcast. Sanaya here. Before we begin this episode, a quick note. Ketki and I had originally recorded this in mid September in anticipation of a little known album called The Life of a Showgirl. And if you have pressed play on this episode, I'm sure you know that that is the 12th of Taylor Swift's studio albums. However, with the festival season upon us, shifting timelines, we found that October 3rd, the day the album released, sort of came and went. So this ranking does not contain The Life of a Showgirl right now, as of this moment. We will be recording a dedicated episode for Life of a Showgirl. You can stay tuned for that, keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, enjoy our ranking of Taylor Swift's first 11 albums.
Hi, I'm Ketki.
And I'm Sanaya.
And we're Thinking People. Today, we're thinking about Taylor Swift, ranking each of her 11 studio albums from debut all the way to the Tortured Poets department. We talk about our personal favorites and dive into the storied discography of arguably the biggest pop artist, songwriter, and business mind of the 21st century.
Life moves fast. Tune in to think about it.
All right. Hello. Welcome back to another episode.
Welcome.
How are you doing today, Sanaya?
I'm doing fine. I'm mostly amused that Saurav has to listen to us talk about 11 Taylor Swift albums. Yeah. In detail.
Saurav, our producer, shout out to him for what he's about to do, I guess. After stating on record, or not on record, but in a party, I remember that he thinks Taylor Swift is overrated. So,
and generic is what he
generic.
said.
Maybe we'll change your mind. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But good luck, Saurav.
So many opportunities to learn every day.
And change your mind, I will say.
Exactly.
Now we're evangelizing people.
We interrupt this episode to bring you sorrow from the editing room floor. They did not manage to change my mind, and I still do not like Taylor Swift. Now back to the episode.
Anyway, okay, so today's episode is a interesting one. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And I feel like this may be the perfect moment to do it because, Taylor's album is coming out.
The Life of a Showgirl.
The Life of a Showgirl, yes. But we thought it would be interesting to maybe do a little retrospective and look back at her past 11 albums and rank them.
Yeah.
There's a few, I think, rules and guardrails that we worked with. We obviously listened to all of her material, and my God, is it a lot of material. But of all of the material, we only listened to the original albums. With the deluxe tracks, I listened to the deluxe tracks. You did.
I did, but you know what I realized just getting into this call, that I did not listen to the Midnight Till Dawn edition.
Oh, yeah. I was reminded of that by Apple Music, but yes.
I feel like when I remembered it, I thought to myself that it would not make that much of a difference to my ranking.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's permissible.
It is permissible.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it's only fair that some material gets left over. I do want to credit myself by saying that I listened to all of it. I even listened to You're Losing Me, which is not technically on any of the...
Isn't it on
Target edition.
She put it on the Till Dawn edition, which ends with Karma.
It's different.
No. It ends with Karma featuring Ice Spice.
Yes, but it doesn't have You're Losing Me.
Oh, really?
It doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, there are many editions, and I did clarify with Sanaya. I'm like, are we listening to the deluxe edition? So I think for the most part we have, but these are the original Taylor Swift albums, the ones she now owns her masters of.
No re-records.
No re-records, no vault tracks. If we want to speak to them, we could. But really listening to the albums in their original form, and we're gonna go from rank 11 all the way to rank 1 and talk about why we put each of these albums there. In the interest of time, I do want to say that say you start first and rank 11 is a certain album and my album is the same. Maybe we can talk about it together. Otherwise, we can individually talk about which album we put where. Does that work?
That sounds good. And we don't know each other's picks.
We don't. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Important. We do not know each other's picks.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is going to be interesting. Do you think I'm going to be surprised by some of your picks?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I actually have 2 questions before we begin. So, at what point in the 11 albums did you get on the Taylor train?
Oh, you mean originally in life?
Yeah, as a fan. Like, when did you become a fan?
Oh, I think I've had 2 moments where I became her fan, then I stopped being her fan, and then I became her fan again. But the first time I became a fan of Taylor was with Fearless, 2008.
Yeah.
And the second time was with Folklore.
Yeah.
2020. In the middle, there was a period where I kind of was like, what do I feel about Taylor? I don't know. Maybe even fell prey to a lot of the hate surrounding her. But no, we are now
You were
back
on Kanye's side.
with a vengeance. Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm joking. But the reason why I'm asking is because I do feel like I did get the sense that when you get into Taylor Swift, determines your ranking quite a bit. I do think that's going to happen. I got on the Taylor train in 2019, I would say. I think Lover was the album that did it for me. Of course, I had heard a lot of her music before. I feel like inadvertently knew the lyrics to Love Story, even though I don't think I went out of my way to listen to that song a lot. Shake It Off was my I Want to Dance song when I was drunk. So that was always there. But proper concerted listening, paying attention to what she had to say began with Lovers, which means I was like fully primed for Folklore. So I've been an active fan, I would say, since 2019. So I guess that's like some orienting for the listeners for where we're coming from.
Yeah.
When we look at these rankings.
Of course, a highly personal, subjective list. So yeah, I'm certain some people will listen to this and be like, what the fuck? Why? But too bad. It's our podcast and these are our lists. Okay. Okay. With that, let's start with number 11. I have a feeling that we have picked the same album, but I will let you go first.
Okay. So my number 11, honestly, it was a very close call between 10 and 11. Like these were 2 albums that were very close in me thinking they're the least enjoyable for me.
Right.
So that being said, I feel like I have heard both albums numerous times.
Yeah.
And the album that I've chosen for at number 11 is an album that I do put on seasonally every year, more so than the one that I've put at number 10. But for reasons I will get into, I have put Evermore as my number 11.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. That's not the same as yours, is it?
It's not my pick. No.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I can get into why. I was talking to a friend earlier today, and this was a controversial pick according to her, making Evermore my least favorite Taylor Swift album. But I'll tell you what happened to me as I was listening to all of these songs. 200 plus songs, okay? 250 plus songs.
Yeah.
So what happened is in the beginning, I was looking at each album and I was asking myself, okay, which album has like indelible songs in it, right? Which has songs that are a part of the ether almost now. You can't imagine like a playlist without it. And then somewhere like when I got to albums 5, 6, 7, I'm like, okay, no, Taylor is so much more an album artist than a songs artist, because she really does look at the album as a whole. And because this is an album ranking, I started thinking more about, okay, what is the experience of listening to this album?
Yeah.
What is the world that is built around you when you're listening to it? Do you feel like you're immersed in something? Because she's a very immersive writer.
Yeah.
And what's the overall experience like? And I felt this for every album up until Evermore, which is the album opener plays such an important role when it comes to orienting you towards what's to come. And this was the first album where I just got nothing from the opening. Like Willow does nothing for me. I just think it's like a nothing song. Like it, and a lot of the songs in Evermore feel like writing exercises for Taylor Swift. And because she's a talented songwriter, they sound good. But I just felt like as an album and as a body of work, it just felt like completely lacking in a point of view. And I don't know where it's taking me. I don't know what it's trying to say. I don't know why in the middle of all these songs about like a small town guy with this girl who's gone to LA and then they reconnect. And what about these grifters who are, you know, trying to con people into giving them their money, like this divorce narrative throughout the album. There's suddenly a song called Closure, which is about her beef with people who are real. So I just felt like she was in a flow state. She wrote a lot. She really enjoyed her time with Aaron Dessner. And it's like she just sort of put an album out.
Yeah.
And I don't think that when I'm in the middle of the album, I feel like I'm somewhere a part of her story. I also feel like some songs end up dragging a lot. Like I cannot stand Tolerate It. I cannot stand how much of a dirge it is, right? There are some obviously songs that I really enjoy, but I just felt like this was the beginning of a phase, which was definitely a rut for Taylor, in my opinion. So, and yeah, I think the lack of point of view, the lack of purpose, and the slightly tossed off nature of this album, I think that's what makes it my least favorite.
Very interesting. Very interesting pick. Okay.
Yeah.
I have thoughts to add, but I feel like I will come to it when I reach Evermore.
Okay.
So my 11th pick. But I will say when I was listening to this album that I think that I actively dislike it. Like a lot of fans of Taylor are like, oh, you know, yeah, this is 11th spot, but there's a lot that I like on this album. I think I mostly did not enjoy the experience of listening to this album at all. It's the album that I least returned to. In fact, I think I was listening to it possibly maybe more than a year later, which for me is not normal because I listen to Taylor a fair bit. Just like you, I think I was thinking very holistically about the experience of listening to the album and what really was the takeaway from it. Anyway, my 11th pick is Midnights.
Yeah, that's my 10th pick.
That's your 10th? Okay. Spoiler alert.
We can talk about it together.
We can talk about it together. Yes. Okay. So it's Anaya's 10th pick. It's my 11th pick. It is her worst album by a mile. It is an album I actively do not enjoy. Like I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
I just think that there is a very serious lack of like distinct melodies. Like it's a very watered down sound. And her songwriting is also very thin on a lot of these songs. Like it's almost it's actually very disappointing because it comes so late in her career, and it also comes after certain very, very significant highs in her career. And to me, it almost feels like she wanted to get some random things off of her chest. But it actually feels very much like a Vibes First as an album. Like if Vibes First was an album, Midnights encapsulates that idea, wherein like I think she penned down a few lyrics, retrospectively fit the idea of like Midnights to it. I don't really believe that like these are all songs that came to her on like, 13 different midnights or whatever, 12 different midnights, how many ever tracks there are. But the execution of these songs are very poor, very lazy melodies that don't do her voice justice. And I also have like a lot of issues with Jack Antonoff on this album for that exact reason. But also Taylor's vocals are very lazy on songs like Question and Maroon.
Oh man, Question's bad.
Question
and Maroon's bad. Both are bad.
Both are songs which are grating to the ear, and I was like,
and like when it starts like dun dun, and I'm like, oh, why is that happening? It's not good.
But the thing is, she is not performing. Like she is just speaking in these songs. Like this is not like Question especially is not a song. It's just her talking prose. That's it. So it was very difficult for me to digest that, especially for someone who is a very like at least comes from a very traditional singer-songwriter background. And I think that of course her songwriting is a big aspect of her music, but so is melody. Like I think that this album lacks melody and everything just sort of fuses into one. So I think like that's really that's why it was like my 11th pick. There are some highlights on this album. I personally really, really love the song Sweet Nothing. That's like a standout song for me. I think that's a very sweet song. Very beautifully written as well. I like You're on Your Own, Kid.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, like I was not a fan of this song for the longest time, but I think when I returned to it, I was like, okay, Snow on the Beach. I kind of get it.
Did the summer I turned pretty do it to you?
I have a feeling that it did. But I think it's the fact is that I dislike so much of the material on this album that Snow on the Beach kind of stands out, wherein it's the kind of song where if it came on randomly somewhere, it wouldn't be offensive to me. So I think,
Do you like the more Lana version better?
No.
Oh, I do actually.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. Because there's this, specifically because there is a hum that Lana does in the more Lana version, which just like, it hits the right spot for me. Like, it just elevates the whole song. I do like the more Lana version a lot better, which is why maybe I should have listened to the Till Dawn edition.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I don't have much to defend the album for, but I will explain why it's not number 11 for me and why I ranked it higher than Evermore.
Yeah.
And I think I do think that Evermore and Midnights is the least creatively productive portion of her discography so far. And what I felt about and honestly, it was a slog listening to those two albums back to back. Like, I was not able to like break the surface to breathe going back to back from Evermore into Midnights. And I feel like when you start with Lavender Haze, which again, I think that's like my least favorite Taylor opener.
Yeah.
I think it does one job well, is that it does kind of orient you to what this album's going to be about. But the moment I'm listening to it, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't want to hear this. These sonic aesthetics.
Yeah.
I do not want to spend 45 minutes listening to them. So I feel like that was one thing that definitely put me off entirely. Like Lavender Haze, I think, is such a weak song. And honestly, this album really made me start thinking about Taylor as, I guess, a pop star, like, where does she kind of sit? Because I do think she recorded this album for the sole purpose of having something that is a little more upbeat to tour, because her previous two albums were not like stadium friendly albums. So she needed something with like enough sound to fill in space.
Yeah.
Right. But I started thinking to myself that, okay, what are the three singles from this album? That's Lavender Haze, Bejeweled,
Yeah.
and Anti-Hero. These are the three singles that she released.
Right.
And what I also begun to notice is that I don't think that Taylor has made a ballad, a single, since maybe 1989. And that's only if you count Wildest Dreams as a ballad. And there have been many songs that have been her singles that were ballads very early in her career, stuff like White Horse, stuff like Back to December. And I was just thinking to myself, like, a universe in which, what if, Sweet Nothing was the other single that she gave like a video treatment to, or like You're on Your Own, Kid. I think what eventually made me place this album higher than Evermore is that her songs did have some success, which Evermore completely lacks. Like Anti-Hero is her biggest like career hit, right? Like longest running number one. I think You're on Your Own, Kid is like a significant song in her discography. Like it is the defining song of the Eras tour, which is the defining moment of her career. So it is because of those two songs that I placed it at number 10. But it's also the album in which I just feel this like tension between her wanting to assert her pop stardom in these sounds, but her writing not really fitting into those sonics. And it just feels like you're being suffocated as a result. Like there's so many words and the sound is just like, it's like squeezing you a little bit. And the subject matter feels like restrained, because it seems to me that she's someone who was in a stagnant relationship and for whatever reason didn't want to sing about the reality or the present moment, so was constantly looking back at what had happened in the past, and therefore retreading themes she had already looked at before.
Sorry to cut you, but now that I do, when I was listening to this album again, I was like, okay, we did not perceive it as a breakup album when it first came out, but it 100% is. Like at least a chunk of this album is definitely a breakup album. But she's very restrained.
She's holding, so like Tortured Poets is her letting loose, but this, like, why are you singing about the Lavender Haze in a 7-year relationship? You know what I mean? And Mastermind, like you're talking about the early stages where you were like getting together and like hiding your machinations for how you got together. It's a person who does not want to sing about the present and therefore is just going back to themes she's already visited. I feel like there's no freshness in this album. There's no catharsis in it. It's not building up to anything. But I feel that tension and it's the role it played in making her so huge, I feel like that makes it a little more significant than Evermore. That's where that was my reasoning between the two of them.
And I mean, I'll speak to this, but I think that this album also came at a time when people were hungry for new Taylor material. And I think that there's been a wave of like a resurgence of, okay, actually Taylor Swift is a good artist, right? Like there's a perception shift about who she is as an artist. So many more fans have come into the fold. I remember listening to this album for the first time and very much being a lot kinder to it than I am now.
100%. We listened to it together. And we were
like,
just making excuses for the songs.
Absolutely. They're not bad. They're okay, interesting. Oh, she said that thing. But no, after all these, and time is, I think, a great indicator when it comes to, what you like and don't like, etc. But I think enough time has passed. It's been 3 years since this album came out. And I think, it's we were riding a wave. We were riding a Taylor high when this
Yeah.
album came out. And I really think that the success of this album is because of that.
Yeah, yeah. And I also, this is the album that came when she had won a new fan base because of Folklore
Yeah.
and Evermore,
Yeah.
and reintroduced a new generation to her older music through the re-records.
Yeah.
So it was sort of primed to be the commercial juggernaut that it ended up being. And then it won a Grammy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the worst of her
Yeah.
best album wins.
This won a Grammy over Beyonce.
No. It won a Grammy over SOS. SZA.
Oh, over SOS. Right. Ridiculous. Like criminal almost.
So
anyway,
what's your number 10? Number
My
10
number
down
10.
and sweet.
My number 10 is Evermore. I thought I was going to surprise you with that, but you went for it right at the beginning, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I think we are in sync, Sanaya.
Just like one rank here
two
or there.
souls, one mind, or whatever.
Yes.
I agree with you on a lot of what you said about this album. I think the first thing that stood out for me is actually this is an album that is cohesive only in its aesthetics, but it's not actually cohesive when you listen to it. She is riding a high after Folklore, and is kind of this album is just a byproduct or the aftermath of feeling that creative high with Aaron and Jack, and she's just does not want to stop writing. Cool, great. But what happens, I think, is that they try to like push each other in different directions, and they go a lot more experimental with the sound and also the kind of stories that they want to tell. But the ideas are just simply not as strong on this album. And so it's not cohesive, right? Like there is like Willow, which is like your folksy tune. I don't mind that song that much, although
I like the Elvira version more. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like I heard it a couple of years ago, and I do enjoy the dancing witch version of Willow.
Right.
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah. But I don't mind the song. Then there's Champagne Problems, which I think is a highlight on this album. I like that song.
That's a good one. Yes.
But then there's like Gold Rush, which
I don't mind Gold Rush.
Okay.
I'll tell you one experience I had is that none of these songs can be playing in the background. Like no Taylor Swift song can be background music, but Gold Rush can. Gold Rush, Labyrinth, a lot of Midnights.
Yeah.
A lot of that, a lot of Midnights and Gold Rush can play in the background at a party, and it won't like cut through everything and distract everyone. I think most Taylor Swift songs just stop everything that's happening around them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, fair. I'll give that to Gold Rush, but it's not my favorite. But I think there are some real like snoozers on this album. Happiness, 'Tis the Damn Season, Tolerate It. Coney Island is one of the worst songs, I think, on her discography, where her and Matt Berninger's vocals do not go well together at all. And I think she is very enamored by The National in this album, where she's trying to actually emulate their sound and their aesthetics, but I don't know if it's landing in the same way at all.
Yeah.
And what I'm realizing with this album, as I was listening to it, which I feel like I will speak to with some other albums as well, is she's obviously a very prolific writer. I don't know if she's ever experienced writer's block. I don't think that that's something that happens to Taylor.
I think Evermore is her writer's block.
I don't know.
This is her version of
if
a
I'm
writer's
going by
block.
her words, like she introduced this album by saying that she couldn't stop writing. But I think this is a quantity over quality kind of the argument that I'm making here, wherein I feel like she's able to produce or write a lot of material quickly at a pace faster than any other artist, right? Like her new album, Life of a Showgirl, is coming out. She wrote it while she was touring in Europe and like produced, like would fly back to like Stockholm to meet Max Martin. And Hayley Williams recently came on an interview, and she was touring with Taylor, opening for her at the Eras Tour around the same time. And she literally tells, what's his face?
Zane Lowe.
Zane Lowe. that she does not know when Taylor wrote this album. So that is the speed at which Taylor operates.
She's Batman.
She's crazy, right? But I think just because she's able to do it, I feel like sometimes you have to create something and maybe sit with it. I don't know if she has the ability to do that sometimes. And I think she just puts it out.
Yeah.
And this album was the quickest that she's released an album after a previous one, right?
If you don't count the re-records, because
I'm not counting the re-records.
Yeah.
Like this is still largely original. I mean, it's entirely original material. The re-records is still kind of, it's older material. So it was the fastest that it came out, and I feel like you can tell that it's half-baked.
I thought that this album, more so than Midnight's, felt like Taylor's version of like half-assing something. We all half-ass things at work, right? Like we don't we know we can do something better if we put in more time.
Yeah.
But you're like, I just want to do something, put it out there. It definitely felt that way, because I feel like there's an urgency in every other album apart from these two.
Yeah.
Where I think she feels very present in the music. She stakes are high for whatever reason, different reasons on different albums. These two albums just felt like, she was kind of, when I say she's in a rut, like I'm sure she's able to write good songs even when she's in a rut.
Yeah.
But this was like a trough, like a big dip.
Yeah.
For two albums.
Yeah.
So yeah. We're fully aligned so far.
We are aligned so far. Okay. No arguments so far. Okay.
You want my number 9?
I want your number 9.
You want my number 9. Okay, so number 9 is an album that I enjoy in parts. I think that this is an album where, so I was doing this thing, right, where in the beginning I was like hyper focusing on the songs in an album.
Yeah.
And I found it very interesting that like the first 3 Taylor albums, like you have to kind of remind yourself that she was basically on an independent label, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big Machine sort of began with her.
Mm-hmm.
And those 3 albums were her definitely being an underdog that defined the rest of her career. And those songs were like the purview of the fans. I didn't get the sense that the music she was writing on those 3 albums were for the world. This album is where I think she hard pivots into writing songs for the world. They're not just for Taylor Swift fans anymore, and it's what's made her this huge, huge pop star. But I don't get that much from this album as a fan, and that's 1989. And it's my number 9.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think, so I'll tell you what, I think that this is kind of a hits and slight filler album for me, where I think the hits are absolutely atomic, right?
Yeah.
Shake It Off, Blank Space, Style, Out of the Woods, Bad Blood.
Yeah.
Like, out of this world, all of these songs have hit somewhere or the other. But the rest of the album, which is like 7 or 8 more songs, I mostly have neutral to negative feelings about the rest of the songs. Apart from Clean. I love Clean. I like New Romantics, and I love You Are in Love, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are the ones that I like. This Love, the album version, I don't think that they did everything that they could have with that song. And there are a bunch of these like songs that again like accomplish nothing in my perspective. Like all you had to do was stay. I Wish You Would.
Yeah.
And where are we going with these songs?
Yeah.
Like what are we trying to say here?
Right.
And I definitely, listening to all of these albums in chronological order, I felt like this is the album where Taylor belongs to the world. And she's not just a person who's listened to by her fan base. And I definitely felt that change in her approach and her sound. And when I think of Taylor and when I think about the music I want to listen from her, I don't often think of 1989. And I feel like the songs that I really enjoy from 1989 are things like This Love and Clean. I also like Wildest Dreams. I do like Wildest Dreams. I went through a phase of absolutely loving Out of the Woods.
Yeah.
That was Taylor and Jack's like first collaboration on a Taylor Swift album.
Yeah.
And I do think that both of them for the next few albums were putting together what I would think is like the best pop song ever. And I did feel that way about Out of the Woods as well. But as like a collection of music, and is this the thing that Taylor is the best at? I don't think so. I feel like she's sort of entering like a pop ecosystem, and I couldn't shake that off. No pun intended. When I was listening to it, and it was very jarring to go from like the first four into like Welcome to New York, where I'm like, oh, there's not much detail. She's not really. You felt like she was singing to you before, and I feel like that quality kind of goes away until some of these other songs. So yeah, 1989. It's fine, it's just fine.
Interesting. I this is not my number 9, but I see your argument. But I have like a slightly different take. My number 9
Your number
is her debut.
Ooh.
Taylor Swift, self-titled.
Taylor Swift.
So this is an album that I do not go back to as an album as much. There are some very high highs on this album. Tim McGraw is a great first single. Like
it's her best opener.
It's one of her best opener. Yeah. Is it her best opener? Okay. I don't know. I haven't thought about that yet. But it's an amazing opener.
Yeah.
There are some great highs. Picture to Burn, Teardrops on My Guitar is still one of her best songs. But she's still finding her footing as an artist.
Yeah.
This is not an album that is offensive to me. Now we're sort of entering into, I do not actively dislike these albums zone.
You just like these less.
Yeah, I just like these less.
Yeah.
So it's not an album that's offensive to me. If I put it on, if somebody puts it on, I will enjoy it. But she's still finding her footing. It's sweet. There are some great, there's some great songwriting moments on some of the songs. On some of the songs, like The Outside and Stay Beautiful, very thin songwriting. It's maybe not her best, but also she's 16 years old. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah. There's also songs like Should Have Said No and Mary's Song and Our Song, which amazing songs, right? But the thing is, I've often found that I listen to these songs in isolation and as an album package, it didn't really speak to me. Like, I feel like the disconnect between the very, very good songs and the very weak songs, that gap is very significant.
Yeah.
And because there are some songs here which she's literally written when she was 12 or 13 years old. And there are other songs which she wrote maybe when she was 15, 16 years old. So I feel like you see the difference, and which is why this makes it a little bit of an inconsistent album listen for me. Not enjoyable, but inconsistent. So, I don't have much more to say for it than that. Like, I feel like I have more things to say about other albums, which would be possibly more passionate even, but I just felt like in the overall ranking of things, like, this just could not go any higher. So this is why it's my number 9.
Yeah, I understand the thing about the consistency. It's not my number 8. So I have ranked it a little higher than you have, for sure. I'll get to my defense for a higher placement of self-titled debut when I get there. But number 8 for me, I was actually surprised I put this here because I really like this album. Right. But I feel like, so I should say that I did my ranking in 2 ways. So I did a ranking before listening to all the music, just in terms of like my intuitive feelings towards different albums based on what mood I am in when I put each of them on.
Yeah.
And then I listened to all of them and tried to do a more quote unquote objective, well informed, well listened ranking.
Yeah.
And this was an album that moved from a pretty high ranking in my intuitive rankings to like number 8 over here.
Okay.
And that album is Lover. Put at number 8.
What?
Yeah, I did.
What?
I did do that. I did
Sorry,
do that.
spoiler alert in my response. But what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I did put Lover here.
You will
yeah.
you will listen to this podcast in a few years and you will bite your tongue. Okay.
Lover's the thing that made me a fan, so I really like it. I love Lover. In fact, I think that it made me a fan, man. I watched her Diary of a Song interview, absolutely loved it. But I feel like there are many twists and turns in this album, and a lot of them I just felt like there are songs that are unnecessary. And my hot take actually is that I don't mind Me at all, like as a song. Like I think it's all right. I think that I feel like Taylor Swift has not written a bad song since her second album. I feel like when we say this is a bad Taylor Swift song, you're trying to say that the lyrics are cringe, right? It's not like the song construction is bad or the melody is trash or whatever. It's just that she just went a little too far,
Right.
with the lyrics and the corniness, and there's no I in team, but that there is a me.
Yeah.
But I placed it here because I felt like this is, I think, a quality of a lot of her albums, but I feel like this album has the least highs for that quality, which is her kind of throwing many things at the wall and not having like a consistent idea of what she wants the album to be. And there are some songs which I don't like at all. Like I'm not a big fan of Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince and The Man, not a big fan of that. And I don't know how all of that kind of sits alongside the more lovesick tunes, you know what I mean? Like Lover, and I Think He Knows, and Cornelia Street, and It's Nice to Have a Friend, and Daylight, and all of those songs. I just felt like I can see 5 songs that feel out of place. But I don't think the other songs are so good that they make up for the 5 that just feel like they shouldn't be here. And I feel like other albums that are this inconsistent have like god tier songs that make up for it. And I don't think Lover has that. I feel like she was just trying to find her voice almost in this album, because she's trying so many different things. She was definitely at a very interesting like spot in her career. I think this is the album for sure where I started realizing that even though Taylor Swift is known for writing about teenagers and high school and love, I think something that is underrated about her is her ability to write about children. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Whenever she writes a song about childhood, it kills me. So It's Nice to Have a Friend, amazing. Like I just, I wish there was more of that kind of stuff, right? Like why do we have an Afterglow? Like I there were so many decisions that did not make sense to me. I think it's an overall great album. I enjoy it a lot. There are many songs that I absolutely love, but as an album unit, I'm starting to feel like this person who's like grasping at something which feels slightly out of reach, which may even be the case because this is around the time when she shot the documentary and she was actually like expressing some of these things as well. Right? But yeah, I just feel like there are some songs that don't need to be there. It feels a little bloated.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that much love from this album. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like it doesn't feel like a complete. It feels very anxious to me. She's not in love as much as she's feeling an anxiety about something going away.
Okay, now you're just retrospectively psychoanalyzing her relationship, which has ended. Okay.
No, but genuinely, it's there. Like, it's like, I don't think she ever like sings about love in this album. And very often, I don't think her love songs are without that sense of anxiety. Like in Cruel Summer, there's like, she's singing about like being like a secret, right? Not people not knowing about it for a while. In Cornelia Street, she's like, I hope I never lose you. And in Lover, she says, I've loved you 3 summers. I want them all. Can I go where you go? Like, there's a lot of like fear inside her. And it's an interesting album because it's like ostensibly at that time, it's this person who was dreaming about love and has written about love, spent her whole life trying to put it into words, and she meets someone and she's trying to put it in the title of the album. But I feel like there's more anxiety in a lot of the music than there is like that expansive, liberating love.
Embrace of love.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I
enjoy it.
I don't entirely disagree with you there, but I get where you're coming from. But still, you are crazy, man. Anyway, okay.
That's my number 8.
That's your number 8. My number 8. I don't know what you're gonna feel about this. My number 8 is Speak Now.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know what you said about the opener setting the tone for the album?
That opener is one of her best openers. Okay, are you talking about Mine?
Yeah.
Are you going to say that Mine is not a good song?
I'm not saying it's not a good song. I think
that doesn't set the tone?
I have never responded to that song that other people do. And I can't quite place it why. Like, I feel like I can objectively understand why people like the song. If it comes on, of course I'll sing along to it.
You made a rebel of a careless man's careful daughter.
Yeah, okay. And growing up, I really enjoyed and I really liked the song. I really like this album. I just want to say to the people, I do like this album. But I just think that Mine is not possibly the opener to go with. It's not a bad song. There are a lot of other great songs on this album that would have been better openers.
Like what?
Like Speak Now.
The song Speak Now?
The song Speak Now is a great song.
That's the one song I would axe from this album.
Oh my God. Yeah. I love that song. Okay. Can I make my point? I want to make my point.
Is this a new girl thing? Like
no,
Speak Now the song?
No, it's not. It's not a new girl thing. But I really like that album. I feel like that song. I think it does set the tone really well for the album. In any case, after Mine, there is Sparks Fly, which is a song that I do not react to it well. Like it's the kind of Taylor Swift corny that I think people had an image of her like the Taylor Swift Disney princess vibe. This song elicits those feelings and I don't really...
What do you feel about Enchanted?
I don't like Enchanted. So that is my hot take. I'm not a fan of Enchanted. Fine. Like, okay, moving ahead, I will say I love Love Story, but it's a very different song to either of these songs. This is like gooey, sugary, like Disney princess Taylor songs. I am not a fan of that kind of songwriting where it almost feels like she's writing the song for like a Disney movie. Yeah. And it's giving me like Let It Go vibes.
Let It Go.
Yeah, like that vibe of song. Okay, like it's not the same song, but it's just that kind of like...
You mean like a Broadway kind of over the top, like cheesy
Disney princess. That's what it elicits in me, and I don't know if I really enjoy that type of song. I don't know. She's not really done that on any other album, but like that is, of course, these two songs are low points for me. Like I personally do not respond to them in the same way at all.
And that's how the album starts for you.
Yes.
Like with 2 songs you don't feel anything about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Back to December. I also do not feel anything about that song. I know that people really, really love that song.
Yeah, I can understand not liking Back to December.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a little samey. Like
Yeah.
it kind of stays in the same place.
Yeah. I think where this album really stands out for me, like the reason I really like Speak Now is it kind of reminds me of Eleanor Rigby in the sense of the power of observation that comes through in her songwriting and her storytelling in that song. That's why I really enjoy the song. I feel like it paints a very, very vivid picture. And it's like a very entertaining, humorous song. It's like you're listening to it and you're like, yeah, okay, this is fun. You're imagining something here, you're imagining a situation, and it's kind of for Taylor like risque. Like that's the thing that I really like about that song. It's not it's she's talking about being into like the groom at a wedding, which is, you know, for early Taylor, it is like a risk taker of a song, and I really like that about it. And I feel like there's
that
lot
was
of
that was the girl who was writing "I Can See You," you know, and putting it in a vault instead of releasing it.
yeah, exactly. So I like this. I feel like, you know, with Speak Now, then Dear John, then Mean, then Story of Us, amazing run, amazing 4-song run. Every single of these, like every single song, absolutely love these songs. But then there are some, like, again, you know, lower points, like Enchanted, not a fan of it. Innocent, don't really care about it. Okay, this is a song about Kanye West. Are you like,
Oh, that's a bad song. I would axe that as well.
Yeah, absolutely axe that song. Better Than Revenge, great song.
Yeah, it's a Paramore song.
It's a Paramore song.
Yeah.
Great song. But again,
and Haunted is an Evanescence song. So
Haunted is an Evanescence song done poorly. Okay. Done poorly.
I don't mind Haunted. It's fine.
Sure. I mean, I don't mind it. I just don't feel anything about it. Like it doesn't give like it I don't really love it. And I feel the same way about Never Grow Up as well. I think Never Grow Up is a sweet song. It's a sweet moment on the album. I don't mind it. That's about it. Like, don't have no love, no hate. And I do not like Long Live at all. So really like Last Kiss.
Last Kiss is great. Yeah.
Last Kiss is a really, really nice song. Now that's a ballad. That's a great ballad.
Yeah, that is.
Right.
That is
so
good,
there are some,
ballad.
there are some very high highs. Some very low lows, but I think the reason why I put this at number 8 is because there is a kind of Taylor that comes through on some of the songs, which I feel like she's constructing this very sweet girl image, and this like very like I am good mannered and I love children, and you know, like that vibe of.
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't know if that's really authentic. I know she's not a very edgy musician, and like she's, but her previous album, Fearless, is so much more authentic to who she really is, right? I think this is a little bit more constructed. And there are aspects to some of the songwriting here where I feel like she is constructing an image that I just don't, enjoy. Yeah.
She does say in Better Than Revenge, she's better known for things she does on the mattress.
Yeah.
So that's not a good girl line.
Yeah. But
it's I indulge in slut shaming every once in a while. That's what she's saying.
I think, yeah, it's the kind of good girl, but there's a sense of like,
I'm the good girl.
Exactly.
Choose me.
Yeah.
Pick me. Love me. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's about it.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan.
I'm not like, oh my God, love. But, you know, it's great. Some great moments on this album. Dear John, oof. And Mean is such a great song.
Mean is a great song.
I still love that song so much.
It is.
Absolute banger of a song. What a way to fucking diss your critics. Great. Like, great song.
Bob Lefsetz.
Yeah.
That's the guy she was singing to.
Yeah.
When she said, I can't sing.
And must note that obviously she wrote all of these songs by herself. Like this is sole Taylor Swift writing credit. which is, of course, something to commend, of course.
Yes. So Speak Now is not coming anytime soon for me. So I won't speak. I won't speak now.
Speak now. Don't speak now. Okay.
I won't speak now and speak now. But I will speak about my number 7 pick,
Yeah.
which is Taylor Swift, self-titled.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
it's number 7. So we began our listening experience with this album, and the moment I put on Tim McGraw, you're just speechless, right?
Yeah.
When you're listening to it, because I think that's one of her best singles. I think that's her best album opener. I think just the first 4 or 5 songs of this album, especially the first 3 songs. It starts with Tim McGraw, it goes into Picture to Burn, and then it goes to Teardrops on My Guitar. I mean, what are the chances that she would open with those 3 songs? So if you are getting into Taylor Swift, you hear these 3 like absolutely timeless, indelible pieces of music written by a girl who's 16, and she probably wrote it 2 years prior to when it was released. So she would have been 14. So Tim McGraw is like astonishing to me.
Yeah.
Everything about that song, the way I feel like every successful or effective song that Taylor has written since Tim McGraw is doing what Tim McGraw is doing. Is able to, set the scene, have a little twist in her lyric writing where it's something you don't expect.
Yeah.
And she has this, like, she's able to weave passages of time in her music in this really skillful way.
Yeah.
And she's like looking back, and it's her reminiscing on something, and she's wishing that somebody else remembers her. It's a very complicated emotion, right? It's not just a love song.
Yeah.
She's talking about something that's only in the past now.
Yeah.
And she's hoping that someone thinks of her, which is a very sophisticated emotion. And that's what she opens with. So I think that this song and this album is just like, it's hard to deny. And I feel like I don't think I have ever like been as like, engaged or like concentrated as much while listening to this album as I did before. So in my intuitive list, this was lower than 7.
Yeah.
But I think that it starts so strong with Tim McGraw, Picture to Burn, Teardrops on My Guitar. I even like A Place in This World.
It's a nice song.
There are like a few songs in the middle which I think are fine. They're not terrible. They're fine. But it ends with Should Have Said No, Mary song and Our Song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this album is such a mission statement. It's like, this album is about songs.
Yeah.
And it's about her establishing her name vis-a-vis songs, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's singing, the first song is about the song that she and this like ex-boyfriend used to listen to together.
Yeah.
Mary's song is honestly, it's the first Taylor Swift song I ever heard. Not Love Story. Mary's song was the first song I ever heard. And I used to love that song just because in the space of 3.5 minutes, she has traced an entire like lifetime.
Yeah.
And put it like that. I think it's underrated, what she was able to do with that song. And oh my God, and like the way in which she's able to like tie back the end of the song to the beginning of the song with the callbacks when she talks about their moms rolling their eyes, but at every stage of life it means something different. Like, she's really exercising every tool in a songwriter's toolkit, and she's introducing herself to the world at the same time. And it ends with Our Song, and it's that trick that she does, right? I pulled an old napkin and wrote down Our Song, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like very meta, and it's making my head spin a little bit. Like, how is she doing this? So I just think it's just so impressive.
Yeah.
Like, just immediately impressive. And there's one thing that there's like, I made a list of like some of her songwriting tricks that she
Yeah.
kind of like goes back to again and again. And Tim McGraw kind of does it. It's a common trick, but I really like it when she does it, which is when she ends a song with the first lyric of the song.
Yeah.
Like she repeats it.
So good.
I love it. So like in Tim McGraw, she starts with, you said the way my blue eyes shine, put the Georgia stars to shame that night. That's a lie.
Yeah.
And she ends with that. And I feel like it just
Completes
it's like it completes it, and it makes you sort of like the first time you hear it, you don't know what's going to come next.
Yeah.
And then you hear it again, but this time you know what's going to come next.
Yeah.
So you're kind of re-experiencing the song after it's ended.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was just so impressed.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't think I had given it a close listening before.
Yeah.
And this is the album.
Yeah.
She's basically an independent artist at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so,
It's the thing I really appreciate about this album is her ambition really comes through. Like it shines through.
Yes.
You know,
100%.
she has labored over every single word, you know, and that's amazing. I really, really commend that so much. And I mean, again, I just can't believe that this album came out when she was 16 years old. Like, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. You know, a prodigy is born with this album. Truly.
Yeah. I don't know, man. And it's also interesting to me because I feel like this album is actually like in my mind like parallel to the Disney ecosystem because it like sort of released on the same day as the Hannah Montana album did.
Right.
And I do think of like Miley and Taylor in tandem with each other as two people who probably came from the same space musically, but whose careers and the way in which they've managed their like brand and image, it could not be more different.
Yeah.
And you kind of what you mentioned about Speak Now, right? Like it's a very like curated, tightly controlled image.
Yeah.
It's all like building up in these first three albums, but it's not as obvious. So it's just fascinating to see, that degree of ambition. Just the first three songs and the last three songs. You know, I think early on when she was making like country music, she was so much better at choosing singles.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the Taylor of today would be like, I think The Outside is my lead single. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you not able to see the good song?
Yeah.
But yeah, Taylor Swift, number 7.
Good pick. Spiritually, I'm there with you, you know?
Yeah.
Numerically, maybe not. But okay. My number 7 and my number 6, I think I consider really the same rank in a sense. But I did put this at number 7 for a very, very specific reason. It's Tortured Poets Department. I want to say, first of all, I have had a very complicated relationship with this album. You know this.
Yes.
When it first came out, it was too much for me. It was a lot. It was a lot of material, of course. I'll speak to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's not an album that you can immediately digest and make sense of. And I think the time when this album came out, there was just so much of Taylor everywhere that her also, I know she gave us so much with possibly a lot of love, but I think she was oversaturated, overexposed, and then suddenly there's, 31 songs that you have to like digest all of a sudden. And I think I reached a saturation point with her when this album came out, and I just wasn't able to appreciate it in the same way.
Yep.
It has been more than a year since it's come out now. And I will say, like, I did the same thing that you sort of did, where I kind of made a list of like what I think my ranking was, and this album actually ranked lower.
Yeah.
But as I was listening to it again this time, what I realized was that over the past year, I have listened to a lot of songs from this album, randomly. and really, 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 really resonated with them. And so I think I like it so much more now. And it has the one thing that Midnight's doesn't have, which is that Midnight's is so thin on the material, and this one it's just going all out with the material. There's so much, so many great ideas on this album. There are very interesting like phrases, and there are songs which I think I actively hated, which I've changed my mind about, like like the Tortured Poets Department, the title track. I actually really like that song now. So it's been a very complicated relationship with this album, but I think the reason why it's still at number 7 for me is this is a double album, of course. First she released the first 16 songs, and then she released the anthology, so with 15 more tracks. It should be at least 15 songs less. It is simply too much fucking material.
Like, she should have chosen the best of all.
She should have absolutely chosen the best. And this is again, I'm like the same thing that I brought up earlier on, right? Which is with Evermore as well, where I feel like she has this tendency to go on writing. And I think what I realized with this album is that she has a specific idea that triggers another idea. She writes that next song down and doesn't realize that a lot of the themes are repetitive. And I felt like even in this song, there were like at least 3 or 4, like maybe like 3 or 4 instances wherein like some of the themes were repeated on the album. And after a point, you're like, okay, I get it already. This is not, you already spoke to this. You spoke about the sentiment, this emotion, but you did it better on the other song. Yeah, exactly.
My lady.
So like, for example, But Daddy, I Love Him, and I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can.
Yeah.
Sister songs. But Daddy, I Love Him is a better song.
Yeah.
Okay, so
100%.
that, you know, so I think like My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is a better song. So, superior song. So there's a lot of ideas that are repeated here. I don't understand. I just, the thing that really gets me about this album is why, like, if I bought this on vinyl, I would hate to listen to it. I can only really enjoy this album when I listen to my abridged version of it. And that really puts me off about it. And which is why I feel like it's at a low rank. But some great moments on this album. So Long London. Amazing song. Great way to bid adieu to Mr. Joe Alwyn.
Yes.
Love of My Life, I think, is slowly becoming one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs ever.
Yeah.
Guilty as Sin is a great, once again, a ballad moment. I didn't perceive it as such back then, but I do think that there's a kind of balladry to it, which I really, really love. And what I also found interesting as I was listening to it again is when I first listened to it, I enjoyed the second half, like the anthology part of it. What do we call it? The anthology part of it a lot more. But now I prefer the original or the first 16 tracks that she released a bit more. I just because I think they flow better. And you're right. Like, she is stripped down. She's bearing herself for us on those tracks, and just they are cohesive. You know, you're following through a story. You see where it starts, and you kind of, there's a narrative that is woven through these songs, and you're able to follow that story, and that is an enjoyable experience. Whereas the rest of the tracks are a little bit more random. So that, you know, there's random ideas thrown in here and there. There's a So High School, but then there's also a bolter, and then it ends with a manuscript.
That's a good ending, though. That's a great song to end.
Yeah, but I'm saying lots of different ideas, right? So it goes a little all over the place, which is, you know, okay. And this is where I feel like, okay, I really think she reached a point of, there's so much happening in my life and I have to write about all of it. And if I put like a Black Dog, well, Black Dog is still technically about Mary Healy, but if I put like The Bolter. Actually, you know what? The Black Dog, The Prophecy, The Bolter, The Manuscript. All the songs. I love all of these songs from the second half.
The
I feel
Maggie
like they could have
songs.
all worked
Yeah,
on with the other songs as well. So like I just think the track listing is off here, which is something which I don't think Taylor does well. She does not know how to structure her albums. She doesn't know the word edit, and it's a little bit of a mess. So I think for anyone who's listening, and if you have had a negative reaction to this album, I think that it could just have to be with the fact that it's a very, very overwhelming listen.
Yeah.
It's simply too much, and it's not a very accessible piece of material. But if you give it a chance, I feel like there's a lot of high moments that you will come to really love.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take on the album. It's a good album. It's too much. That's all.
If the anthology was released like 4 months later, the way Evermore was,
Yeah.
would it be a better album than Evermore?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You wouldn't
Definitely.
feel like the way we do about Evermore, where it's like,
Yeah.
there's nothing new being added here. You would think, oh, wow, this is a good album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think that. And I just think the only thing that throws me off, that would have thrown me off, is the addition of So High School, because it does not go with the rest of the songs. And Thank You, Amy, because why?
I don't think she needed to add like the Travis songs to this album.
Yeah.
That was like just thought, like let this be what it is,
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was done for a specific reason.
Your whatever football coach, what is that, physical education teacher does not belong in the tortured poets department. It's all right. He can be in his own department, the sports department.
Yeah.
But okay. TTPD number 7 for you. Not my number 6. This album is a good album, and I like it, but I feel like a lot of people love it. But I think I like the first half and a few in the second half. And it's kind of undeniable, because I think this is the album that was actually the album where Taylor became the pop star that she is, and that album is Red, basically, for me.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. So so again, in my like album listening, this is the album in which like you listen. It starts with State of Grace, amazing song. Then it goes into Red. I like it. It's not my favorite, but I like Red. Moves into Treacherous, amazing song.
Yeah.
And then you listen to I Knew You Were Trouble, and I just felt this whiplash, man.
Yeah.
I felt like, not because of the dubstep, not because of the bass drop, none of that. It's just that I suddenly felt like she was not singing to me anymore.
Yeah.
And then it's All Too Well, and I'm like, oh, you're singing to me again. And then it's 22, and I'm like, this is not for me. Like, this album was like, as an experience, there was this entire stretch in the middle that was just like you getting
jarring,
yanked from side to side.
Yeah.
And it's this stretch in particular. It was starting with, I think, Treacherous, moving into I Knew You Were Trouble, moving into All Too Well, 22.
Yeah.
And then I Almost Do after 22. And then We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. And then Stay. So I'm like, she's definitely just, it's like constant stimulation. Like different parts of my brain are lighting up when I'm listening to it, which does make it like engaging.
Yeah.
Like you have to pay attention to it. But I feel like, I do think that some of her worst songs are in the first like 3 to 4 albums, and that includes stuff like Starlight and Girl at Home. Like these are some like terrifyingly bad songs to me. Like I don't know what they're doing in this album. Why are they here? And I think this is the first glimpse of like, why are the good songs the deluxe songs? Why is Comeback Be Here a deluxe song, right?
Yeah.
What made her put Starlight on that album?
Yeah.
over Comeback Be Here.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the last time featuring Gary Lightbody, and she doesn't even sing the first verse. So like you just feel like you're suddenly not listening to a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole bunch of like crazy happening in the second half.
Yeah.
But the first half, it's like god tier stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you make an album
Career
like
defining.
that?
Career defining stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the first few albums, she's like her strong starts are strong, which is why it pissed me off in like Evermore and Midnights, where that was just not happening.
Yeah.
And even in Red, I think a lot of these songs she's written entirely by herself. Apart from the ones she did with Max Martin and Shellback.
Right.
But yeah, I think this is when Taylor stops being off the fans and becomes kind of off the world. So yeah. And yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. I feel like this is definitely the heartbreak album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't think she's as huge of a celebrity yet. Like, obviously, she's in tabloids constantly. Her love life is being written about constantly. But there is still this quality of like, I'm just a girl who, you know, got her heart broken.
Yeah.
And later on, whenever she'll touch upon these kinds of themes, she'll also kind of touch upon what it's like to live as like a ridiculously famous person.
Yeah.
So this album doesn't have so much of that, like, unless you count The Lucky One as like a meditation on fame, but still it's barely there. But I think this is like relatable Taylor at probably her last moment of being like actually relatable. Because after that, it's like,
superstardom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And The Lucky One, like, I see you trying to do that Britney moment with The Lucky. But
she tried to do a Mazzy Star moment with Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. She tried to do a Snow Patrol moment with the last.
I will never understand that.
That's
a choice.
Time. She did a Bruce Springsteen moment with Holy Ground, but I really like that song. She did like try to do a U2 moment with like State of Grace. She was trying. She was doing her thing.
She's trying. Yeah. I have a lot of things to say about this album also, but I will get to it when I get to it. But
Your number six.
Number six. I wanted to rank this lower, but I just could not. So it's an album you've already spoken about.
I know what this is.
Yeah. But I just simply could not rank it lower. Even though maybe there are... I don't know. I feel like maybe I like a little bit more of the material on this than like a Speak Now. But it's 1989. I resonate with a lot of what you said about this album. I agree that it is actually...
Then what's it doing at number 6, man?
Okay, let me make my point, man.
Why is it middle of the pack?
It's right under my top 5, actually. That's the thing, right? Like, I think in my head, I dislike this album as an album a lot more, but I just feel like so much of what's on it is like undeniable that I just wasn't able to do it. Like, I wasn't able to make that choice to rank it lower. That's why I feel like as of right now, maybe 1989 Tortured Poets Department stands at the same rank, but we'll see. I don't know, maybe in another 5 years I'll feel differently. But I think, so I was listening to the albums in chronological order. I listened to this album right after Red, right? And I'll get to it exactly why I felt this way after I listened to it from Red, but I just felt like Welcome to New York is not one of my favorite songs on this album. It's fine. Yeah. It's an okay opener, but it sets the tone really well. Statement. It's a mission statement.
Yeah, new soundtrack. I could dance to this beat.
Full embrace of pop, you know. It is refreshing to the ear. Like, when you put it on, you're immediately transported into that world. Mm-hmm. Which I think you are immediately in that world. It's amazing that she was able to make that shift in like from Speak Now to 1989 in a matter of 4 years. That's an insane shift. And I think there's like, you have to credit her with that. And I think that the highs on this album are diabolically high. Like, I think Style, I know you didn't speak about that, but I've told you this before.
Yeah.
I think personally, one of my favorite songs of hers ever. I think it's one of the best pop songs ever made, if I can say so. It's pop perfection. Out of the Woods, amazing song. Wildest Dreams, pop perfection, amazing song. Blank Space, amazing song in the sense that it's one of those songs where, if it comes on, you can't deny it. Like, you just cannot deny it. I don't know if I will ever return to, I don't return to it as much as I do the other three songs, but it's undeniable, and I personally, like, objectively do not like Shake It Off as a song, but if it comes on, it's undeniable. Like, you cannot not dance to that song. And I feel that way about even Bad Blood. Okay. Like, it's not objectively a great song, but it's undeniable. So I really think that when I was listening to this album, I was thinking about the context that it came about in and the sort of launch pad it acts as for the rest of Taylor's career. And it is very markedly a shift in her voice, in what she wants to do, in her persona, everything. It's very, very significant for those reasons. And I think what you said also, right? Like, because the hits are like huge, people often don't pay attention to the little moments on these albums. And those are also really powerful, like Clean. Like, I really like This Love as well. I came to appreciate it a little bit more after the Taylor's version of it came out, because that's a better version of this song for sure. But it's still a great song. And I really, really like You're in Love as well. I also like New Romantics, which is a deluxe track. I think it's one of her.
Yeah, again, the deluxe tracks are better than some of the songs on the album.
Yeah. I think All You Had to Do Was Stay and I Wish You Would, not great, for sure.
Get rid of them. Put them away.
Weak moments on the album.
Yeah. Like You Are in Love, the track 5.
Yeah.
Make it your track 5.
Yeah. So You Are in Love is one of her best deluxe songs ever. It should be a track 5.
Song.
Why is All You Had to Do Was Stay a track 5 song?
That's her worst.
It's her worst track 5 song. So I just think it's undeniable. And that's why it's my number 6. That's literally the reason.
So I have a question for you, because I was thinking about this like constantly, especially when I got to the like pop era Taylor Swift, right? Do you think that is Taylor Swift meant for shared listening? Do you think her songs you would enjoy them more if you heard them out in a club? Or would you prefer to like be in your house listening to her music? And I think that especially in relation to the pop stuff, because she wants it to play at the club, but I've always felt like that's just not who she is as an artist, because like she'll make a pop song and it will be a banger, but it'll slap the hardest when you're listening to it in your room as opposed to the club. So do you feel like you would rather listen to the song when you're at a club over wanting to like switching it on in your room and listening to it in your room and having like dancing in the mirror kind of session?
I think kind of both. Like, I really think it depends on, like, there is one significant pop album we both have not reached yet. We will get there. But I think that is an album that I think the experience of listening to it with other people is also amazing, right? Like, and something even like Love Story, man, like listening to that in a club full of people is amazing. I never thought that song I don't think was ever intended to do that. Yeah. But that's the amazing thing, that it's actually when it's like her Sweet Caroline, like it is.
It is. It's her, that's the song that she introduced herself to the world with. Yeah. Like, when she had the opportunity to reintroduce her old music, she chose that song. She led with it. Yeah.
I do agree that like a lot of her songs are better appreciated sometimes when you're solo. But there is a moment when I like chance upon a Taylor Swift song in the wild, in out there in public, and it does imbue it with new meaning, and it does recontextualize it in a sense also. So I don't know. I feel like my answer is it really depends. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if I have a hard answer
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
I do think that 1989 is the closest that she gets to creating music that exists in this like expansive way
Yeah.
where it's heard by even like casual listeners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is truly the music that went far and wide.
Yeah.
And people would want to put it in like a wedding playlist, right? Like
Yeah.
what's the song that you put in a wedding playlist? You probably would put Shake It Off. Maybe you'd put Love Story as well, but like Shake It Off is like this cross-generational thing
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah,
Can
okay.
I say I do kind of, maybe people will think I'm insane for doing this, but I do kind of compare 1989 to the Thriller album. So like Thriller by Michael Jackson is an album that is known for its hits, right? Like Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, biggest hits ever of all time. But then if you actually listen to the album, there are some like random ass tracks on that album also, but it's still regarded as one of the best pop albums of all time. And I feel like
That's because he had like 5 number ones, right?
yeah,
From
yeah,
that
it's
album.
like
Which Katy
yeah,
Perry did with Teenage Dream.
Teenage Dream. Amazing.
They're the
Also
only
amazing
two
album.
artists who have done that.
Yeah.
So
So but outside of those 5 number ones make this album. There are 9 tracks on that album. And I remember when I last listened to Thriller, like those 5 number ones are everything and the rest of the 4 songs are just about okay. So
yeah.
I do feel like 1989, were it a shorter album, is kind of this in a similar vein, in terms of its track listing.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's the like hits and filler vibe
Yeah.
about it. But
Yeah.
but it's like she's an albums artist. She wants to make like an album that in which you want to listen to every song. So
Yeah.
which is why I placed it lower. Because for me, I'm like, oh, you want everyone to have a complete album experience.
Yeah.
So the other songs should have been something, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure. No, 100%.
yeah.
Okay, we are
Top
entering top 5. So these are all albums we love, right? We love them. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
why not?
you wanna start us off with your top 5?
My top 5, okay.
So your number 5, yeah.
My number 5, I'm just gonna say it. It's Fearless. It's number 5.
Okay.
And so, okay, I'm sure that this is considered by many. I'm sure many people the best Taylor Swift album. It's her breakout.
Yeah.
People in our age group especially would say that this is the album they kind of grew up with. We were 13 when it came out, like target demo for sure. Again, just it starts with a mission statement, right? Like when you hear the song, you hear like snare and kick drum or whatever, it just pulls you in immediately. And then I think when you go from Fearless to 15, you're like, oh my God, that's such a good song. And then when you get the Love Story, my jaw dropped. I was in the office and I was like, this is actually nuts.
Yeah.
That these are the 3 songs that we've started with.
Yeah.
And absolute god tier.
God tier. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Love Story, I think. So my take, as much as we were thinking about Taylor Swift albums, I was also thinking about Taylor Swift songs.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like she doesn't have that many songs that are like forever songs or everywhere songs, right? Because I started realizing that I'm like, it's not often that a Taylor Swift song that goes to number 1 or is a hit is because it's playing everywhere. It's just that it's beloved by her fans, the Swifties. But early in her career, up until 1989, she did have those songs that were
everywhere,
taking over. Like they were dominating songs. And I think the song that dominates the most, even more than any song on 1989, is Love Story.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it's the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
Like it's obviously not many people would say this is my favorite Taylor Swift song because it's the Taylor Swift song. You have
Right.
to have a different song that's your favorite. But she changed the ending of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what she chose to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Shakespeare who, bitch? Yeah. Yeah.
Literally. And so of course this is going to be in the top 5. But I do think that when I get towards the end of this album, again, it like starts so strong.
Yeah.
Like you're at this level that you can't believe you're on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I think when we get to around, let me tell you, when we get to around like The Best Day
Yeah.
and Change,
Yeah.
like those 2 songs, I think are like unfinished, half-written things. I absolutely, I came to the conclusion that I think that Change is her worst song. Because it is,
Okay.
it's just like, she's written it entirely herself. And what was shocking to me is that was the song that she wrote entirely herself on Fearless. And then she goes and does Speak Now. And all of those songs are like superior. But I just feel like the second half it just feels like we front loaded this album.
Yeah.
The second half, like we're just going to get done with it, but it's so front loaded that it won't really matter. And it's also the reason why it's like is the best re-record in my opinion, because I feel like the second half has great songs, but she didn't execute them as well. Like if I think about like Tell Me Why, You're Not Sorry, I think The Way I Loved You original is still like, it's got a little more like fight and bite in it because she's like living through it. But like You're Not Sorry, like she was like struggling to sing it, and she's even said that like it's a lot easier for me to sing it now than it was back then. So yeah, I do. Again, I feel like it's so hard to deny the first 5 songs, and like the first 5 songs, it's disgusting how insane it is. You go from Fearless to 15 to Love Story to Hey Steven to White Horse to You Belong With Me. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
This is the second. So it's such a mission statement. It's such an orientation towards the teenage fan base that she was like cultivating at that time. It's like, I joke and say that if I was listening to Taylor Swift like as a teenager and a person in my early 20s, I would have gotten over breakups a lot faster. And you know, like I do think that this is that album for a lot of people, right? Like their first experiences with love and relationships are like, this is a soundtrack to that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to deny that, but I didn't meet it at that moment.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, okay, I didn't get onto the train then.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is why it's my number 5.
Yeah, I mean, has to be in your number 5. So good pick regardless. Okay. So my number 5 is Red. I think a lot of what you said about this album, I agree with. Let's start with the negatives, right, of this album. Like you said, suffers from poor track listing, some very sonically, lyrically inconsistencies, like inconsistent ideas. You know, you have State of Grace, amazing song. Red, okay song, but makes sense. Treacherous, amazing song. And you're right, like I Knew You Were Trouble. And then All Too Well in the middle of I Knew You Were Trouble in 22 is just, that's a choice. Okay, like why would you do that?
It's track 5. It has to be track 5. It's
sure.
The track 5.
But put any other song except I Knew You Were Trouble at like number 4. Very jarring shifts, right? I do think that songs like I don't think that 22 and We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together were bad songs. They should not have been the singles. Like at least both of them should not have been the singles off of this album. Maybe you could have given, I understand, you know, your label telling you put out a pop like radio hit. It must go out there. That has to be the single. Didn't have to be both songs.
All the Max Martin songs had to be the singles though.
Yeah.
That's what she was, that was her like that was her message to the music industry, right?
Yeah.
Like I can make a Max Martin song,
Yeah.
and they made 3, and all 3 were singles.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, independently, like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, 22, maybe not so much 22, but We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, I think is a fun song.
Yeah.
I think like it's kind of like irreverent and like quirky, and it's that like very like hipster era, like early 2010s coded. Like it's fun for what it is. Does it make sense on this album? Maybe not, but it's okay. But I think ultimately, like what really comes through on this album for me is that it is a reflection of her very, very confused identity as an artist and a person. Like
Yes.
that's what it is. It's just she, like the song Stay, 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 horrible song. Like it's grating to the ear. But you have all of these songs right after We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, where she's hipster Taylor. She goes into Stay, 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 where she's back to being like country girl Taylor, and her accent is back all of a sudden.
She's playing 4 quadrants, man.
Yeah. She's being like all the different like personalities on this album.
Yeah, she knows her markets.
Yeah, exactly. So a little bit of like personality crisis on this album, but I think first flare of, I don't know. I think that there are like some really, really strong moments. And I think what really made me appreciate this album, like the thing is, I hate that I have to say this, but because I know that we had to independently assess the albums without taking into consideration the re-record. But I do think the re-record made me appreciate Red again. I feel like I would have ranked it a lot lower had it not been for the Taylor's version and the world that she constructed around the Taylor's version. And I do think that it has colored my experience. Like I can't not speak to that.
Yeah.
So, All Too Well, canon moment as a Taylor Swift fan falling in love with that song, right? Like amazing song. Treacherous, amazing song. Begin Again, amazing song. Holy Ground, amazing song. Like there are some incredible songs on this album. And have come to really love it, enjoyed the experience of listening to the album.
Yeah.
Definitely there are a lot of duds on it, like Starlight, like Everything Has Changed with Ed Sheeran. The last
I don't
time,
mind that song.
Okay, interesting.
I prefer Everything Has Changed to the last time, for sure.
So my thing with the last time is I think it could have been a better song. It's the chorus is not bad. It suffers from boring verse syndrome. So I think it could have.
It suffers from boring duet partner syndrome.
Sure, yeah.
Gary Lightbody of No Patrol.
There is still potential. It's just half baked. Like there's still some potential in that song, but yeah, overall a little bit of a personality crisis on this album. But I feel very fondly towards it, and I do want to call out the Red Taylor's version vault tracks. Again, I know that we didn't listen to the vault songs for this purpose, but oh my God. Like,
yeah, they're the best. Yeah.
They are the best. I think if she released the Red Taylor's version wall tracks as just an EP, amazing. And I think when I go back to this album, like the Taylor's version of this album, I actually may only listen to the wall tracks. Amazing. Great songs. I really wish they were on the original album, but it's okay.
So, the wall tracks are pretty important over here because it does kind of recontextualize this album quite a bit. And the song that I have always been so intrigued by is actually Nothing New.
Yeah.
And that's because, like I said, right, like she kind of began her career in this like parallel Disney ecosystem. And while others who were actually in the Disney machine, like people like Miley, people like Demi Lovato, were basically spiraling. By the time 2012 came around and courting controversy and breaking out of their good girl images by like being incredibly sexual, right? While people were doing this, I always found it interesting that Taylor Swift, her like image was so curated for so long, like that she started singing about drinking only in Reputation. And I didn't think as much about it until I heard Nothing New.
Yeah.
which is about her kind of being drunk because she's like depressed, right? And I just wonder to myself, on no planet is the song Nothing New less worthy of being on that album than fucking Starlight.
Yeah.
Okay. Or The Lucky One. That's the other song about fame and being a famous person. Why was it not on the album? Is it because it was some decision that someone made that Taylor Swift cannot be singing about drinking? And that really makes me wonder a lot, because she didn't have the kind of restrictions that Miley did. Like she was like attached to a label where sure, like there were men around her making decisions, but like this label, her dad is like a shareholder in Big Machine Records at this point. And why not? Like, was it a conscious decision to not include it because Taylor Swift has an image and has certain fans that we cannot risk alienate? So it's very interesting to me that song exists from that time period.
Yeah. It's a business decision. I mean, like think about the fact that this album came after Speak Now. Okay. I just spoke about like how that there are songs on that album that give Disney princess vibes. You know, like if she were to release Nothing New on this album, it would be a very, very jarring, it would be controversial. And I think to some degree there were decisions made for her, and I think to some degree she went along with them.
I think she had a lot more control than other artists, which is what's fascinating to me.
She's not one to give
this
up
was
control.
this is definitely her choice as well, right?
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of scary to me. Like, this is the part of her like business mind that makes me a little uncomfortable, which is you're so careful and, you know, careful about being in control of the narrative all the time. Like, you know, will you never do a thing without like preempting a fan response or an audience response? So I think about it a lot. I wonder so often, like, why was it left off? Like, I can understand why some of the other songs were left off, right? That are in the vault. But why this? Why couldn't she put the swear word in All Too Well? You know, like there's questions like that I keep asking myself. Like, I know it was a crazy time. Like, people would get into a moral panic and like clutch their pearls over anything. But she managed to escape that in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable, because you're a young person. You should be doing some stupid shit, you know? Like, how did that happen?
I will say though that I don't understand why songs like Better Man and I Bet You Think About Me were left off. Those are objectively better. They hark back to her like country origins a lot more than other songs. So I think those songs were left off because she didn't want to be seen as a country artist anymore.
So I do think that Better Man and I Almost Do are very similar. They're like basically the same song. If you listen to them back to back, like they in the same way and they're kind of about the same thing.
But I think Better Man is a better execution.
Better Man was the better song. But Better Man is the song that she sold, right, to Little Big Town. I don't know if that, like, the decision making around that was, okay, we need to give a song to somebody else. There's some businessy stuff happening. In the vault, basically. Which is why we weren't talking about it. Like, there's too much business
but it does add more dimension and okay.
Shall we go to number 4?
We have to go to number 4. Okay, Sanaya, number 4.
Number 4. So I will say that I like this album immediately.
Okay.
And I think my next 3 albums I think are off a piece, because I think that Taylor has made some albums about like her fame and her position as an artist. And the one I'm about to like talk about, I think, is the most interesting one to me. And that's Tortured Poets Department. It's number 4 on my list. It's the one that I'm listening to all the time right now. I do have Tortured Poets on vinyl, so I can tell you what that experience is like, listening to songs in order without having the opportunity to skip them. Tortured Poets is invigorating to listen to after the slog that is Evermore and Midnights.
Yeah.
There is an urgency in her voice.
Yeah.
The stakes are higher. She has new subject matter. And I think she introduces themes that she has not addressed this sophisticatedly before. Because she has sung about like fame in the past. But I think this album is like this meditation on her position in the industry. And I just find it endlessly fascinating that she kind of, it's this commentary on her position as a songwriter who is a diaristic songwriter.
Right.
Whose job it is to be a tortured poet. And how she feels almost like an obligation to provide a statement of what has happened in her relationship. She feels like that is the expectation that she must fulfill. And what is that experience of being a person where you feel like you need to mine your own heartbreak to deliver something that people expect of you? And in this album is when she starts to get like cynical about it.
Right.
And I love that tension, right? Like I find it so interesting that, you know, it's that double meaning of like the Tortured Poets department as an office where your job is to churn out music for people to listen to. Or it's like this like
institution.
Yeah. This institution where you're locked up with the other tortured poet.
Yeah.
There's like a class of tortured poets who have to like, you know, provide their life, put their life into their songs so that they can be litigated upon by their fans. And I feel like there are so many songs in which she is like talking about this positionality, and it's so fascinating. Like the manuscript, the notion that she needs to write to process something, but once she's written it, that story is not mine anymore. How must that feel?
Yeah.
That some of the most like profound experiences you've had as a human being feel like they don't belong to you because you've given them to the world, because that's what the world demands of you. And I feel like there's so many dimensions to this album that keep revealing themselves. I think that it is cinematic when I'm listening to this album.
Yeah.
I genuinely am able to imagine like this like Midwestern town in like the 1930s or something, where everybody has like an opinion of what's happening in other people's lives, and she's playing like almost like this like mad woman of the town character who has been driven crazy by this man she fell in love with but who like abandoned her, and now she walks around like a ghost. Like there's so many songs. So like even something like I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can, or Fresh Out the Slammer, it has like this like Western vibe to it, right? Like, and I can fully imagine it. I fully imagine the small town that she exists in, and she's like the crazy person in the town. And she's the poet. And the poet is, she's just scribbling away. No one understands what's wrong with her. And I just found it to be like such an insane meditation and so cinematic. Even Clara Bow, when I like listen to it, I'm
That's an amazing song. Yeah.
Damn, like, you know.
I did appreciate that song when I listened to it this time.
Yeah. And I do
it's a great
think
parallel.
Yeah, I do think that this is an album in which she really truly contends with her own actions and the kinds of fans that she has created.
Yeah.
Right? She turns on her fans, right?
Yeah.
And you know, she literally said that, you know, they always want more. Like, what more can I give? And
Hannah's and Sarah's in their Sunday best.
Yeah. And like, beauty is a beast that roars down on all fours, demanding more. Like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Tortured Poets, I feel like the only reason why it's even number 4 and not higher for me is that she didn't pick the 15 best songs and make one really strong album.
Right.
But I think this album had, in my opinion, the capability of being like a top 2 album.
Yeah.
If you like were able to like
Yeah.
create like a nice tight set of songs, because it's just the way in which she's examined this one idea from all sides.
Yeah. It is very conceptual. And she really does suffer from decision paralysis, I think, when it comes to I'm coming to really see that about her. I don't know what this new album will bring. I feel like she has said categorically, I'm sure there's going to be some deluxe tracks, but she has said that it's not going to be more than the 13 songs.
12 apparently.
12, sorry. Yeah. So
but I will say it's very interesting to me that album 11 is Tortured Poets and album 12 is going to be Life of a Showgirl, because I think those are the two Taylor Swift personalities, the poet and the showgirl. And that's her as a pop star. Like those two sides of her that are in tension at all times.
Yeah.
And I find that album fascinating. It's not pop. It's not for the club. It was like not sounding like any of like the biggest songs of last year. I'm even okay with Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like it's like, again, this whole like suburban nightmare, suburban dystopia. Like there's such a like immersive feeling to it. So I do think this is her most conceptual album for sure. Like she didn't announce it as such, but the song, how did it end? Like I find that so fascinating that she feels a compulsion to explain the events of her life through her music, and she can't help herself.
Shout out Jenny Han on using that song when Belly and Jeremiah's marriage ends.
Amazing song selection. So the fact that there are so many anthology songs that were applied to this show, can you imagine? Like she, in a shorter span of time, wrote those songs, which I think it was a more productive and fruitful like recording exercise than Folklore and Evermore, which we thought was a productive exercise. So I actually think that I've been meaning to do this. I just haven't had the time to. I want to actually pick up all those songs that have that cinematic quality, that have this narrative, right? The story of like of this suburban dystopia, and I want to put them all together. But that album would kill. Like that album should be adapted into a movie.
Yeah,
it's all there.
Yeah. Okay, you have made your case, and I do have this feeling that as the years go on, I will come to. There's a lot to chew on with this album, and I feel like I'll see different songs in a new light and maybe come to appreciate a little bit more. So we'll see. Maybe we do this exercise again 5 years later. Anyway, my number 4 is an album that I think I fell prey to the overarching like media narrative around this album for the longest time, and I'm very glad that I have unshackled myself from that perception. That I think was in a way fed and forced down my throat, and it didn't give me the ability to make an informed, independent decision about this album. But now enough time has passed. Did a little
Netflix concert have something to do with changing your
100%.
mind?
Kudos to you for that. That did kickstart, I think, my renewed, or like actually my appreciation for this album. But I do feel like it has built over time and over like multiple listens. And especially this time around when I listened to it in the context of her larger discography, I was like, okay, yeah, this is 100% is going to be in my top 5. I didn't know where just as of yet.
Yeah.
But definitely in my top 5, it is Reputation. I mean, what can I say? Like, I just audacious album. Underrated. 100% an underrated album. I think this album suffers from two things. One is, of course, the larger, narrative around Taylor at the time and everything that was happening in her personal life, Kim and Kanye, and that whole sort of like controversy and things like that. But I also think it suffers from a general lack of poptism in the environment at the time. I remember when I was listening to this, I actually thought about the Fame Monster and the Fame in the same context, where I feel like those two Lady Gaga's albums also suffered from a lack of general poptism. Like, people shat on them, and I'm like, this album is no Fame
What are you
Monster.
saying?
I think
the Fame Monster is critically appraised.
it is critically acclaimed, but I do think that there were critics that
she was just a very provocative
performer, and I think brought forth like a kind of just very like outright pop, I think, in an environment which was not very like digesting of it. I really think something has shifted post like 2018, 2019. We are now back into an era of like, I don't think that there is a mental barrier when it comes to pop music. I do think that existed prior to at least 2019, and definitely through most of the 2000s and the early 2010s. And I do think that Reputation has like suffers because of that.
Would you say that it's a goth punk moment of female rage, of being gaslit by an entire social structure?
In a sense, yeah. Not my words, but yeah, I could say that. I do think it is.
No, I agree. Well put, Taylor.
Yeah. It is audacious. And I think she's able to achieve some really incredible highs on this album. I think Ready for It is a strong opener.
Oh man, yeah.
It's not like my favorite song on the album, but it's, again, world building is happening on that album, on that song. There's a, you are getting ready for it. I love that she introduces the album in that way. Endgame is really an achievement. I don't know how she was able to get Ed Sheeran and Future and herself to create like a great song together.
The biggest reputation.
Yeah, and the thing with this album, the thing that I realized about this album is that the songs that I don't go back to so much, but in the context of this album, sound great. And that is where I was like, okay, I am sold on this album as an album. Like, I don't feel like a lot of these filler tracks, so to speak, are filler tracks. So songs like I Did Something Bad, So It Goes.
So good.
Yeah. Like, I Did Something Bad, So It Goes. This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. In the context of the album, I really enjoyed. And I feel like, I don't really listen to them independently, but they just work cohesively within the environment of the album. But songs like Don't Blame Me, like, great song. Absolute highlights for me on this album are actually the love songs. And there is the interesting thing about this album is that it's also a love album. Like, I think what you said about Lover being an anxious album, I see your point. Yeah. I think this is not an anxious album. Like, in terms of like when she sings about love, she's not anxious here so much so as except for like one or two songs, yes. But even a song like Delicate, it's not anxious so much as there is a more full-fledged embrace of her new relationship and her lover on this album than I think Lover also.
Yeah, it's the most like potent set of songs about that relationship.
Yeah, like Delicate, Gorgeous, Call It What You Want. Oh,
I love Call It What You Want. Call it, she's like talk singing and Call It What You Want. And it's not a problem. It's great.
Yeah. Dancing with Our Hands Tied is a little bit of an anxious track, I think. But it's fine.
I mean, Dress.
Yeah. Dress. Okay. Dress. Amazing song. Very sexy song. Yeah, I think just like with this album, she does reach new heights, and I feel sorry that I didn't appreciate it in its time. I wish I did. So that is my
number 4.
Number 3.
Number 3. Number three
Okay.
for me. Well, okay. So again, this is the second in my, I think, albums about her as a celebrity and a famous person. I think they come from the Tortured Poets, this next album and the album after that. They all come from the same part of her heart, I believe.
Right.
My number three is Speak Now.
Mm.
It's up here, not way down wherever you put it.
Sorry.
But it's up here. It's up here because I think it's a really defiant album. And
Yeah.
I actually didn't think of it as like a princess. Like her, I feel like, so there's this whole thing where she wanted to call this album Enchanted, and Scott Borchetta, the person with whom she eventually has a huge falling out over her master recordings because he sells them to Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
He actually told her, you can't do the princess fairy tale stuff.
Right.
Like you can't keep doing that.
Yeah.
And today was a fairy tale, Valentine's Day, that part of your career, like say goodbye to that.
Right.
So she renamed it Speak Now. But it was, I think this entire album is like defiant because she's like talking back to everybody who said that she couldn't have possibly written all her own songs, right?
Yeah.
So I just feel it in every word of every song.
Yeah.
And this is such an I think both Tortured Poets, but definitely Speak Now, just because it's written entirely by her, it's such an unfiltered album. And I like seeing the contrast from when she has collaborators who are probably editing her versus her not having that. And then what does a lyric that comes straight from her brain onto the page, what does that look like, and how does that affect the melody that she constructs around it?
Yeah.
And I just found that it was such an assertion of herself as an artist. She
Yeah.
wanted to be a songwriter even as she had pop ambitions, right? Like I think that pop ambition thing has always been there because even in the early albums there were always like pop versions of songs. Like Teardrops on My Guitar had a pop version.
Yeah.
Mine has a pop version, which pisses me off. I don't know why, but the album on streaming starts with the pop mix.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it is defiant and it has a purpose that it has set out to accomplish. And I think that this is the first album where sonically there is texture that's being introduced. And this is actually a way more experimental album for her than people kind of give it credit for, I think. Because like you suddenly have like string arrangements in some of the songs, right? Like she fucking wrote a John Mayer song.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I think she had begun to inhabit larger spaces.
Yeah.
And make herself fit into them and show us just how chameleonic she can actually be. Like, this is an early hint at what she's capable of.
Right.
And it's like we said, like there's a Paramore song, there's a John Mayer song, there's an Evanescence song, she's really pulling from so many artists. And I don't know, I just felt like it's just such a mirror into her mind.
Yeah.
And I'm always fascinated by it when I'm listening to it. And I think that I thought that the writing kind of was like elevated from even Fearless, which it does not have any one song that gets to the level of Love Story or You Belong With Me or even Fearless, a title track. But it's just such a reflection of who she is as an artist. And I think that's a muscle that she has employed to such great effect in later albums. But Speak Now was like the first hint that you saw of that, darker side of Taylor. So I actually think of this as a dark album. Like I don't think of it as like Dear John is like a heavy song, right?
That is also ballsy as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. And like Mean is vicious. Like she's vicious in this album. And I think this is the album where you see Taylor fight and that's a fascinating thing. I think
Yeah.
that's what's so interesting to me, and it's in this package that makes you think it's about fairy tales. So I really, again, I feel like there's something conceptual happening here, which I think she really has like this talent for like creating a conceptual thing which is hidden in something that looks completely basic. And when you start to see those layers kind of come apart, that you're like, oh my god, is she a genius? Like,
Yeah.
like that does happen. So I feel like I only listen to Speak Now when I'm in a certain mood, but it is like that kind of angry, sad mood. And I
Yeah.
do put it on in those moments. So for all of those reasons, I think Speak Now is my number 3 album.
Okay. I see you.
Yeah.
My top 3.
And I love Mine, by the way. I love the song Mine.
Yeah.
Like I love everything about that song. But
Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, never said I didn't like it, but it's just, okay. It's just, I think it's just subjective, personal thing. I don't know why I don't respond to it as much. But okay. My my top 3 has actually remained largely unchanged. And I think
I think I know your top 3.
you do know. I don't know if maybe you know the ranking also of it, but I think now it'll become apparent, probably
Yeah.
a little bit more. Number 3 for me is Lover.
Yes.
And yeah, it did not change. In fact, like I always knew that it was going to be at number 3, but this time when I listened to it, I really wanted it to be my number 2. But I think there are some very real misses on the album. You spoke to some of them before. It's what, 18 tracks? Should have been 11 or 12. Firstly, like there is a lot of filler tracks, right?
Yeah.
The Man, The Archer, again, one of her poorer track 5s. The track listing is a little bit all over the place. I actually was thinking about this. I'm like, you know what? Maybe after we're done recording this podcast, I'll create my own version of Lover, like how I think the track listing should have been, or what it should have been instead, what I think track 5 should have been, etc. But I forgot that you existed. Cruel Summer, Lover. First 3 songs on this album.
Yeah.
And this is her. I know you spoke to the fact that some of the love songs are anxious. They are. But it's the kind of, how long had they been dating at this point?
3 years.
3-ish years.
Now,
yeah.
honey.
So it's not a new relationship. But I think a lot of what she sings about are new relationship feelings. I think she's still perceiving it as it's still, to me, sounds like a relationship that is finding its feet a little bit. And maybe she's not even speaking to the relationship in that specific time. Maybe there's a lot of maybe I feel like a lot of these songs are about the early stages in their relationship. But songs like Lover, songs like Paper Rings, I think are a little bit more of that bolder embrace of love, devoid of any kind of anxiety. They're a little bit more secure. There are on songs like I Think He Knows, there are these anxious lyrics where she talks about he'd better lock it down or I won't stick around, which, by the way, lol.
Right.
But it is for the I do feel like it's that anxious love, but in the early stages of a relationship where you still have kind of rose tinted glasses on and you're just excited about everything. And I think that emotion really carries this album. And as you tune into this album, I feel swayed by it. To me, it's Taylor's happy album. It is her I am Daylight. Yeah. I do feel like it's her happy, colorful album. I put it on, it's a Sunday, and I'm having a great day. It puts me in a good mood, and definitely showcases a more evolved songwriter. And just I think melodically also, she goes down a different direction with a lot of these songs that she hasn't done before.
Yeah.
And all of these songs are pop songs, right? They're not your traditional singer-songwriter tracks. They're not like ballads in the traditional sense. It's a
Yeah.
pop direction, but a new one. And I always find it fresh and exciting. So yeah, just really like the overall sentiment of this album. I think the duds kind of ruin it. Not ruin it, but like they shouldn't have been there. And terrible single rollout. Like I feel like this has been discussed to death, but why me? Why The Archer? Like why did you pick these songs to be the singles
Oh,
for
you
this
need to
album?
calm down
Yeah.
as well. No,
Yeah.
but I think that was a very like businessy thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you need
Yeah.
a song for the kids, you need a song for the gays.
Yeah.
You know, it has that energy about it.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
would you compare Lover to 1989 in terms of sunny pop albums by Taylor?
I think that Lover has a lot more substance.
Right.
So, I
think it has
for
the
me,
thought experiments, I think, which
Yeah.
make it interesting. Like
Yeah.
it gives you a lot to swim in with,
Yeah.
and 1989 does feel shallow.
I think 1989 is like, I wouldn't even say it's a dancey Taylor album, but it is that Taylor album. Like I said, it's undeniable. Like it's out there in the world, and when you're out there in the world, you're like, okay, yes, I will jam to this. But I think Lover is a solo listening experience. Like to what you were talking about also.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Lover is an album you can listen to it with your friends, but I don't know if it's a shared, like if listening to like a shared experience as anything to that album. For me, this is an album where like I'm listening to it. Like if I'm out by myself and I have my headphones on, it's this bright sunny day outside, I'm listening to this album and like skipping to it. You know, like that's the feeling that it evokes in me.
Yeah.
And I love albums that are able to do that. So that's why I love this album. So yeah.
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 I get it.
You get it.
I mean, it's the album that made me buy a ticket. So
Yeah. So yeah.
I
Okay.
agree.
Top two. I know what your top two are.
You know what my top two
I know
are.
what
You
your
know
top two is.
I know what your top. I don't know. I mean, I think I know what your 1 and 2 will be.
Yeah, me too.
So this next album for me is, again, now I think like this is the trifecta. It is like listening to all of these albums and like seeing the parallels with these three was like very interesting to me. But this album is, I guess, the one that people associate the most with Taylor vis-a-vis fame.
Yeah.
And that's Reputation.
Mm.
Reputation's number 2 for me. And I just feel like this album is the only album I think that genuinely doesn't have any skips for me. The thing that gets closest to a skip is So It Goes. That song does nothing for me.
Right.
But there's no deluxe. There's
Yeah.
no deluxe. Lover and Reputation have no deluxe
Yeah.
albums, right? It's like she just that whole idea of there will be no explanation, there will just be reputation. Like it's interesting to me.
dramatic.
Like she is very dramatic, but she just put out these songs and she's like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Please take it.
Yeah.
And it was such a swerve for her. Look What You Made Me Do is outrageous. Okay.
Yeah.
It is an outrageous thing
Banger.
to do.
Yeah.
I love that she did it.
Yeah.
It's such a satisfying song to listen to. And this is the album that made me wonder. This is filled with banger after banger after banger after banger. But you know what? It's fucking, I want to sit in my room and listen to it by myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen to I Did Something Bad when I go to like Oro or Summer House. Like I just don't want to. I don't want to have a shared experience of listening to these songs. Even though like in all the videos, she's like in some like cityscape and there is like a club and she's surrounded by people. I'm like, this is a. I'm going to listen to this inside my earphones song, and it's so interesting to me that is the tension of her career, right? Like the showgirl, the poet. But even though she goes so all out with the pop aesthetics and the pop sound,
Yeah.
she can't get away from the diaristic, introspective songwriter that makes a person want to listen to her music in their room.
Right.
And that's the thing that made me understand that, oh, there are Taylor Swift songs for the world, and then there are Taylor Swift songs for fans.
Yeah.
And this entire album is filled with Taylor Swift songs for fans.
Yeah.
Like, I do not think a casual person can listen to Look What You Made Me Do and think it's a good song. Like,
Yeah.
you need to be a fan
Yeah.
to be like, yeah, iconic.
I
You know
get
what
it.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I find that like experience that she's created like so singular and such a privilege.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you need to understand Taylor Swift
Yeah.
to get to a point where you enjoy
Get it.
Reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah, those who get it, get it. It's
Yeah.
basically that. It's
Yeah.
basically that. And it's aged so remarkably well.
It truly has. It truly has. Yeah.
I can't see it like I can't see it in the same time and space as like Ariana Grande and the music she was coming out with, 24K Magic, Bruno Mars, Ed Sheeran and Shape of You. This was the year with all of those songs. Those songs feel dated to me.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way about Reputation.
Chainsmokers, 2016. Yeah.
Chainsmokers 2016, Ariana Grande also 2016, but 2017 was like the year of like Despacito. It was the year of Shape of You. It was the year of Bruno Mars. That's What I Like. Finesse, Cardi B. Like I don't think of, I feel like Reputation is like genuinely occupying its own like vintage wine position. Like I don't know what she did on that album, but the visceral reaction that it created in the moment and for some time afterwards, where people were like, oh, what is this? What is Taylor doing? Why is she doing this?
It's her worst album. Yeah.
It's her worst. I can't believe that. I think this is the album that was a bangers only album before Life of the Showgirl. Like, I don't think she needed, I think whatever she's describing Life of Showgirl to be, Reputation is already a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Like, bangers only, nice, neat, trim album with a proper, like, thought given to the track listing, where it's like the first half is me being angry and then the second half is like me being in love, being saved. And like the division point is Gorgeous and Getaway Car. So I've like met someone, like you can see the thought in the track list.
Yeah.
So, and it will always pump me up. I put it on and I'm like, yes, I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to be productive, you know? So yeah, Reputation.
Yeah.
Number 2.
I'm with you. Amazing album. Okay. Reputation is number 2. So I know you're number 1.
Yeah.
I think you will now know what my number 1 is when I tell you what my number 2 is.
Go for it.
My number 2 is Fearless. Think you saw that coming.
Yeah.
Which means we have the same number 1, so we should talk about it together. But Fearless. I do think I maybe gave away my number 2 and number 1 when you asked me the question at the beginning of this episode, like, when did you become a fan?
Yeah. You don't need to be honest, man.
I know. Maybe we cut it. Who knows? Anyway, but this is where I became a fan of Taylor. This album met me at the right time. I was listening to this in 2008 when I was 12, 13 years old. And it spoke to me on a just very visceral level, right? This is Taylor speaking directly to the teenage girl.
Yeah.
She is being the vulnerable every girl. There is unrealistic romanticism. There is like the dramatics of like young love's failings, but in a way where it is so accessible. You know, in a world of like Rihanna and Britney and Christina and everything else, I feel like there was no reason why a song like You Belong With Me and Love Story, those 2 singles would not cut through to a teenage girl. Like it's just, I think her lifelong fans or like people who've been with her from the start really found her in this moment, and this is what really resonated, right?
Yeah.
Like she really captured the hearts of like young teenage girls in a way that I don't think any artist has been able to. And in my opinion, this album is the foundation of what we consider to be like Swiftian.
Yeah.
Like it
100%.
laid the foundations of that. And like yeah, I every time I listen to it, it is very, very nostalgic for me. I feel like I am transported back into my 12-year-old self. And like that, the fact that this album still holds that power over me is something, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, that itself is just incredible that it still is able to do that to me. I'm 30 years old now,
Yeah.
and like you said, insane opener. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs. You already spoke about them. Crazy, amazing, right?
Yeah.
But then, like for me, the 3 songs, actually the 4 song run that I think is particularly like speaks to me, spoke to me back then, and even now, like as a matured listener, I'm like, shit, they're so good. Is Tell Me Why,
Yeah.
You're Not Sorry, The Way I Loved You, and Forever and Always. Like
Yeah.
all spectrums, like everything on the emotional spectrum is being covered within this like 4-track run. But it is such a rewarding listen. And this is like songs 8, 9, 10, 11. Dude, like of the original, 15 track list, like it's crazy. Most of these songs are incredibly well written, incredibly well produced, extreme, like all sonically cohesive. It feels like a very, very complete album to me. Yeah, I love it. Like there's nothing else, nothing more that I feel like I can say about it. Like I have such a like strong emotional connection to this album, even in the period where after Fearless and Speak Now came out. Like I kind of like during the red 1989 era, like sort of just wasn't listening to Taylor as much anymore. I wouldn't consider myself a fan of Taylor, but I was still listening to this album. Like I would still go back to this album. So this is an album that has stayed with me like my entire life. So yeah, it has to be there in the top 3 for sure. And I guess it's top number 2. Okay.
I will say,
Yeah.
as we move from your number 2 into our number 1s, is
Yeah.
that I do think that new artists who are inspired by Taylor try to make their version of one of these 2 albums. Either they try to make a version of Fearless,
Yeah.
or they try to make a version of our number 1 album, which is Folklore,
Yes.
which I think explains why they are some of her best works,
Yeah.
because they created some kind of a blueprint, right? Like they're very fundamental, like, and I can explain a little bit why I've put Folklore at number 1, and then we can sort of like get into conversation. But
is it the perfect album? It's the perfect album.
There isn't a bad song on this album.
Yeah, there isn't.
It's her most consistently good top to bottom album. Like every other album has a song that I think that she either completely did not need, or she could have worked on it a little bit more and it would have been better. This album, there are songs I like and there are songs I like less. I don't think there are songs that I think are repetitive thematically, sonically, lyrically, or are just not required at all. There's not a single song. I may not be in the mood for all the songs at all times, but it's crazy to me. Like that this is a thing that I have like the clearest memories of. In like the middle of COVID, it's 2020, it's a surprise drop. It was such a thing that was a mood changer at that time when you needed it. And it's like
it saved us.
Yeah, it's the example of her music defining a moment in time.
Yeah.
Just for that alone, it's number 1.
Yeah.
That I think that was the most that she was in sync with what was happening in the outside world.
Yeah.
Right? And I think she had something to prove, I think there was definitely something inside her which, maybe it made her feel like her last two albums weren't as successful as she wanted them to be. She wanted to change things up, do it differently from what she had done before. And it is her strongest songwriting,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
absolutely. Her strongest sound writing complemented by her best ideas. Like,
Yeah.
best ideas, you know, like, firstly, of course, this is a, I mean, I can't say there's any Taylor Swift album which is not a personal album. There are personal themes here, of course. You know, there are songs like Mirror Ball.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there's a lot of ideas and themes that she's concocted, so to speak, right? Like, she's come up with characters and tried to draw parallels between her and like a socialite called Rebecca Harkness on the Last Great American Dynasty, which every time I listen to that song, I love it more and more and more. To me, that's a great idea for a song. Like, what a great, like, and that flip that she does, right?
Yeah.
Like, you were talking about the kind of devices that she uses. She often does that flip at the end of the song where, like, in this case, she's like, actually she's talking about herself, you know, that she bought the same house that Rebecca Harkness used to
Yeah.
live in, etc. And she's like profiling this woman. Amazing idea, right? Then the Cardigan, Betty, August love triangle, like 3 songs from 3 different perspectives of 3 people involved in a love triangle. Amazing idea, right?
Make the movie.
Yeah,
Make the
movie. Make
Yeah.
the movie. It deserves a movie.
Yeah.
So 7, a beautiful song.
Her
about-
best childhood song. Yeah.
best childhood song. You know, and then there's some really like touching moments on songs like Invisible String,
Oh
which
my God, yeah.
in my opinion is one of her greatest love songs.
Yeah.
Possibly
Without
if
a
not
doubt.
the greatest, maybe.
That is her love song.
that is her, yeah. It is her at her most evolved form.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, she meets a moment in time. I think she meets herself at a certain time. And you know what this album also tells me? Everything else that we've also been talking about, you know, I think that Taylor also is somebody who lives a very like overwhelmingly insane life, right?
Yeah.
But this is the result of her taking some time and just like calming down, and this is what like comes of it. And like that is so rewarding to see, right? Like that in these moments of like just silence and like reflection, that she actually didn't reach into herself and her personal experience so much more. Like, actually she let her imagination take flight, and that is the beauty of this album. So it that whimsy of her imagination really comes through.
Yeah. I keep thinking to myself about what role it's going to play in her discography, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's the thing that reinvigorated her entire career,
Yeah.
for sure. I think it won her so many new fans, the kind of like critical acclaim that people didn't give to her at
Yeah.
different parts of her career. Like, you know, like the more alternative indie people, there's a lot you can say about that as well, which is like, you know, like, who cares if like Pitchfork paid attention to this but didn't pay attention to 1989, right? Like,
Yeah.
that kind of like hipster rock snobbiness has always underestimated pop music. But I feel like this is her at her most grounded.
Yeah.
This is her at her, like, she wasn't afraid of losing anything. And I feel like that's what I miss. Like, I look back with such nostalgia to when Folklore came out and the kind of artist she was back then and the kind of person she was back then, where it wasn't about the celebrity as much.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that she was able to take this detour into like just like songwriting and storytelling for 2 albums, and since then it's just been an onslaught of her as a celebrity in all her music. Yeah, I think Folklore was like a reprieve.
100%.
You know, it was it is a thing that you don't need to know anything about Taylor Swift, the celebrity, to listen to and enjoy.
It is, yeah.
No meta narrative required here.
Yeah.
No
Like,
lore, nothing.
exactly. That's so true. That's so
They're
true.
like,
And actually, I will say the other thing that exhausted me about Tortured Poets department, like I didn't speak to that, but when it first came out, was there was already so much lore about Taylor. Even
Yeah.
if you're not a Taylor Swift fan, you're still consuming a pretty decent chunk of that lore.
yeah,
And then she's giving it to you, which of course,
yeah,
okay, she's doing that, but it's exhausting. Like I actually was really turned off by it because I was like, I don't want to hear any more lore about your life. And I especially
yeah,
don't want to hear it on 31 tracks,
yes,
So yeah, Folklore is an album which I think could convert like the staunchest of cynics. So
I think it's a selection of like pure songs,
yeah.
That function on multiple levels,
Yeah.
right? Like, you don't need to know that My Tears Ricochet is about Scott Borchetta.
You don't need to know that.
You don't need to know that.
Yeah.
Like, we know this, and knowing it doesn't affect the way in which we receive the song.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, that's a cool song about a business situation.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like a song about a business situation. It's just fantastic.
Even like Epiphany is
Yeah.
a song where she draws a parallel between like wartime nurses and like nurses during COVID.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like-
yeah, she does that.
Which Taylor Swift song does that? But she does that, And the thing, I think that it is it just shows what she's capable of,
Exactly. And I mean, so much so that, now that we've come to the end of this ranking, it brings us to Life of a Showgirl, which has been described as bangers only, but with folklore's songwriting.
Interesting.
I have no idea what that's going to sound like. Like, it's a weird combination. Let's see where we end up with that. But
Yeah.
but I think folklore is a direction or a type of music or a type of artist that Taylor could have been. Or I'm not saying she would have like given up pop, but like maybe not have like commercial ambition at the back of her mind. I think I want to be able to see her produce material without that
Yeah.
being a requirement, because Life of a Showgirl, like, I'm excited for it, but it is like it's like a chess move to try and reclaim the center of pop. It's very clearly that she's
Yeah.
quite open about it.
It's
So
the thing about folklore is nothing felt strategic about
Yeah,
folklore. To
precisely.
me, it was just like pure love of the craft and put it out there, and was ambitious with even the kind of collaborators that she wanted to work with, opened up new ground with that, right? Like pushed herself a little creatively. And it came like, yes, she met a moment in time, but she also met herself in a specific time and juncture in her career where Lover hadn't really taken off, and she felt like, okay, I am now 30 years old, and this is when pop stars, this is when the downfall of the pop star happens, and maybe there's nothing else left for me, so I might as well just take a creative risk. And that's what she did, and look at what it did.
Yeah, I wanted to take more risks. Although I would say that Tortured Poets is a huge risk.
Yeah.
But
Not in the same way.
She
Yeah.
was too big to fail when
Yeah.
Tortured Poets came out. Doing this at like no song on Lover in 2019 went to number one. Cruel Summer did, but like 4 years later in 2023, and because of the Eras tour. But basically, after like 3 consecutive albums of like number one songs, she was nowhere. Like she had been basically like edged out by Old Town Road.
Yeah.
And now you're releasing like non-pop, like singer-songwritery music, which is contemplative and for you to like enjoy during lockdown. I wish she would do more of that. It's a side of her. I don't want the same sonics. That's not what I want. I just want her to not be thinking about like legacy and bottom lines.
Yeah.
In the way she has like constantly been thinking
Yeah.
ever since.
She is I mean, we've now spoken about her for 2 hours, 40 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to cap this at like 1.5 hours, but clearly not. So good luck to our listeners. I don't know if we're going to be dropping this as 2 parts. So
We can't do that.
we can't do that. It's a.
This is as long as Red Taylor's version.
Yeah. So would they rather listen to us or Red Taylor's version? But anyway, she is a very, like, I can't imagine doing this exercise for any other artist. Like, she is, whatever you can say about her, there's a lot that you can say about her, but there is, like, she is endlessly interesting and fascinating. And
she's a rich text, as they say.
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact that people who have engaged with her in a cursory manner have a strong opinion.
Yeah.
You know, it's very like complicated figure. Are you excited, by the way, for Life of a Showgirl?
Currently,
what are your thoughts? How are you feeling?
I have no thoughts, in the sense that I feel like I'm not getting my hopes up, because I feel like in the recent, like, how her life has evolved very recently, like, I don't know. I'm like, do I want to listen to...
I love that we have gone 2 hours 41 minutes without saying the words Travis and Kelsey. Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe I'll be able to enjoy the songs in isolation of that and stuff. Like, honestly, like, and also the more that I think about it, I'm like, okay, sure, he makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for her, sure. But I also think there's a lot of other things, right? Like questionable celebrity figures she's been hanging out with. Just sort of like, when I was saying that she's an endlessly interesting figure, what I also meant that is she's kind of a chameleon in a sense also. Like, she's taken on many, I can't think of a single artist that has, like, not just for their art, but in life, kind of, I don't know, like, evolved in so many different kind of directions. And
she's a mirror ball.
She is a mirror ball. I think
in like a good and bad way.
In both a good and bad way. So she's very all-knowing, but she really is a chameleon. And she really knows how to kind of mold herself in order to be acceptable, I think, to a lot of people around her. And I feel like it is interesting to see the direction and that her life is going in. But yeah, I'm curious more than anything. I feel like that's the sentiment I'm feeling.
I think one last thought before we sign off about Taylor that I've always felt like her as an artist and a celebrity. I think she is so polarizing and challenging and provocative, and the fact that the people who love her like intensely love her, and then there are people who find themselves like just her and everything about her to be grating, right? Like that. I feel like it's because I don't think there's another artist inside whom the business and the art intersect as much as they do.
For her, yeah, absolutely.
Because she does not make the distinction that a lot of people do, which is that art is like, there's art on the one side and there's business on the other side. Like the art comes from like a pure place almost, right? Like it's a creative pursuit. But for her, the art is the business. So like, she is going to want to sell albums. But she's also creating art. So for us as listeners, that is a very like challenging thing to come to terms with, because not only is she a creative genius, she's a ruthless business person. Right? Like, how do you bring those two things together? How can a person who's so good at one thing be good at the other? Because usually it's the suits who do the business stuff. But she does it herself. And I mean, we've spoken about this
all
before.
aspects of business, right? Like the marketing and the PR and the numbers. And
and she is like this like person who is like calculating about those kinds of things, right? It's like, you wouldn't expect an artist to be that way, and you would expect that if an artist was so money minded and was thinking about sales and numbers the way she does, that their creative output would suffer. But it doesn't.
It doesn't.
How does that happen? And I do find it challenging. Like right now, I think like given the climate in the US, and the world, I find it like appalling that the only time she speaks to the outside world is when she's selling something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and it confuses me because if a person is that concerned about her legacy as she is,
Yeah.
these are the things that don't bode well, right, for an artist's legacy.
100%.
And
Yeah.
she's a very complicated figure. Like the thing that I'm like I'm excited about Life of a Showgirl, but I find it infuriating that she's booked theaters
Yeah.
to like essentially watch like a music video and some lyric videos.
Yeah.
And I also find like, I think for me, like the turning point in my fandom really came when she actually announced that she's bought back the masters, and I just felt like I was recruited into something against my will. You know what I mean? Like I was like, no, I said I didn't come for this cause, you know. I'm here for the music. And I don't like that feeling. Like that, I think that really like changed the way in which I see myself as a fan, where I definitely draw a distinction between my relationship with her music and her position as like the most powerful musician in the US right now.
Yeah.
And her incredible shortcomings in that position.
Yeah.
And I feel like there used to be like a sense of wanting to defend her, you know, to the outside world, like which does come with being her fan. I feel like I don't feel the need to do that anymore.
Yeah. I think the thing that really pisses me off also is her almost like how she's able to consistently see herself as some kind of underdog in any situation.
Yeah. She
Even
can't do
when
that anymore.
She is anything but.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, you literally cannot do that anymore. And so many other things, right? Like there people make the argument that her feminism only like comes alive when it applies to her, which I agree with. Actually,
100%. Yeah.
Her politics only comes alive when it applies to her.
If her boyfriend is into it. Yeah.
Or if her boyfriend is into it. And like, again, chameleon, right?
Yeah.
If her boyfriend's not into it, doesn't matter anymore or whatever. Like, so there are with being a Taylor Swift fan, there are these complicated feelings. The rollout of like the multiple editions of like her vinyl and how she's holding the vinyl industry back. Like the vinyl companies are not able to press other artists and independent artists vinyl because there's like record number of like Taylor Swift vinyl that they need to press. Like it's just like terrible stuff.
Yeah.
So
and now
it is complex.
The movie theater thing, like I see online, I see fans saying things like, oh, Taylor is like creating like a community experience for all Swifties.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's actually, it's just creating like this cloistered effect of them existing in their own world. And then I saw something crazy. Okay, this is what happens when like incredibly young people just have a platform to air their opinions, I suppose. There was a tweet I read that said that, oh, you guys don't get it. What Taylor's doing is the same thing that all these clubs do when they host Swift nights, except that they charge so much money because they happen at like restaurants and clubs. And now Taylor is allowing you to have a Swift night, but in the movie theater for like a fraction of the cost. And I'm like, okay, number one, if it's happening at a bar, that's going to be more expensive than a movie ticket.
Yeah.
But number two, if this is a substitute for that, those small businesses that are those bars and restaurants, they aren't getting their business. Instead, we're talking about who's making money out of this. It's going to be AMC and Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Taylor has just figured out that there is an entire ecosystem that money can be made from that she wasn't tapped into.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen for those 2 hours in theaters across the country? You're going to not be able to show a movie that would have probably been screened over there that like people have worked on for months. So I feel like there's a blindness. And I honestly, I found it to be like this entire rollout for Life of a Showgirl, more so than Tortured Poets. I found it to be like just a little tone deaf. And this whole notion of like we'll watch the lyric videos together. Are you joking? That's marketing material, man.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
if it was a documentary, like tell me you've produced something.
You
right?
made, yeah, exactly. Why are you bringing these poor people into the cinemas? 100%. But yeah, there's so much to say. I will also say, having witnessed her career and the way it has unfolded, one thing, like as someone who is also like suspicious, I guess, of things like astrology or whatever, but I will say that it seems like the stars align for her. It's
Oh,
actually amazing.
voodoo.
Yeah, I think so. I think it has also had some incredible luck, man, in terms of like
Yeah.
the way narratives have shifted about her. And some of it, I don't think, like, she is, of course, someone who holds a lot of power in how the narrative is shaped about her. But I think some of those things she had nothing to do with.
And like, in spite of everything I've said about Life of a Showgirl and its rollout, I'm excited to listen to it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, okay, we are fans. Let's face it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, not let's face it, we are like absolutely diehard fans at this point. But yeah, complicated character. But thank you, Taylor, for also existing.
if you've made it this far, thank you for spending the last 3 hours with us.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and tell us your thoughts. Send us like fan mail, man. Our email ID, like Twitter DM, Instagram DMs are open for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Thinking People podcast is hosted by Sanaya Chandar and Ketki Sharma. Our producer for this episode is Saurav Das.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio content. Be sure to follow us at Thinking People Pod on Twitter or X, and at Thinking People Pod on Instagram. If you'd like to get in touch, write to us at thinkingpeoplepodcast@gmail.com.
Stay tuned for our next episode.